Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Supreme League Europe. We're now on week. I can't remember what week it is, but we are on a certain week, and we have a game between SG Momentum and Zero Gaming in Division 1. And with me, I have my co-caster, Just Discord Things. Say hello to the stream.
Hello, everyone. I'm returning once again for another guest cast, and yeah, just Discord things. You can just call me JT if that's a bit easier. So I just go with that. I'm very happy to be here again, and pretty excited to tune into a Division One game. I feel gifted, as a Division Two player myself. It's nice to step my toe into the higher up stage, if you will. So I'm excited to be here.
Yes. And I think that we should just with no further introductions, we're just gonna get into the draft. We're just gonna get up the draft. This is sadly a pre-recorded game, so it's not a live draft. But let's just talk about this draft.
We can
So
certainly
we'll
talk
see.
about it.
We have the first pick, Aurelia. Obviously, a very strong pick right now in the meta. A very broken champ, in my opinion. And it can be flexed into two different lanes. I think it's a fine first pick.
It is. It's a very solid first pick. I like it. I think for any of you who is in the SLE Discord, link down below, would recommend checking it out. Anyway, will know the player from SGM, team captain Xandars. He's a bit of an infamous player in the Discord, in
Very
all honesty.
infamous.
But yeah, a little bit. But he is very much a Aurelia first pick believer. He likes the ability to flex that, as you said, to the mid or the top lane, and it just has such good. I say it's pretty decent blind pick potential as well. I do think part of its power lies in that counter pick, but being able to just put it blind in either of the top or mid matchups and know that it is going to perform regardless on what you do. You've got so many options for builds and items, and it's just so flexible. It really does make for a very worthy, strong pick. And I can understand the bans from ZRG, sorry, as to their first wave of bans. Kung Fu, the jungler for SGM, his name's Kung Fu. You can tell he's a Lee
Yeah.
Sin player, and he's been playing a lot of it recently in solo queue as well. So I respect the bans. Also a very strong jungler.
Yeah.
So I think a good ban coming out from side of ZRG as well.
And uh, and just for everyone's information, Kung Fu, who used to be the jungler for Curtain Call Gaming, since Curtain Call Gaming has sadly left the league, he has now been picked up in a mid-season pickup by SG Momentum, and who is now the new starting jungler. Very exciting times for this pretty new team. Changing out your jungler is definitely a big role to just change like that, but hopefully it will work out in SG Momentum's favor.
I'm absolutely interested to see how that turns around because yeah, putting a new jungler is one of the things that holds your team together. I mean, certainly our team relies a lot on our jungler to make plays and,
And if
and
you
bring
did,
everything together.
and if you did watch last week in my team's game versus SG Momentum, and in the interview, I did have the infamous line, which I will not state here. You can go back and watch the VOD of what I said about the SG Momentum players, but uh, I'm not gonna be biased on this cast, but
Yeah, we
yeah.
keep it neutral.
We
We
keep
keep
we
it
keep it
neutral.
we keep it in neutral, or I can be on the side of Zero Gaming and you can be on the side of SG Momentum, so it balances itself out. Whatever. Okay, so after the Aurelia pick, you then pivot into Jarvan Poppy. I don't like this because a lot what makes Poppy, in my opinion, really good, and also Jarvan, is that you have a lot of flex potential with both Poppy and Jarvan. Obviously, Jarvan you can put in the top lane, which is really good into like range matchup or
Hmm.
into tanks. You go with the summon area and Doran's ring. You have a lot of poke damage early, and you have great engage and great damage with Jarvan. And Poppy just can be flexed into three different roles. You can put her top, you can put her jungle, or you can put her support. Obviously, always with the face rush rune. Very important rune on Poppy. Probably the best rune on Poppy. I don't know who else would do something else on Poppy. Little inside joke for the homies at home, but yeah, what do you think about the Poppy and Jarvan pick?
Yeah, Poppy, I think is one of those champions where, as much as I agree it has a flex, I think it is much more of a circumstantial champion. I think I'd only really pick it in places where I know I'm going to get the maximum use out of this champion. You know, it's got those crucial that W, you know, stops all dashes. It's such a crucial ability, and one of which makes the champion as strong as it is. And I think, you know, taking that on the second pick, I don't really think it's a huge priority pick at the moment. So I don't see why you would need to pick it that early on, especially when you've got things like the Gwen coming later in the draft. Where I think that's a much stronger earlier pickup. But obviously that's to each their own. I'm very interested to see
Yeah,
how Zero Gaming use that Poppy, considering they've put such a high priority to take it as soon as they
yeah,
can, with that being their
but
second pick. And
obviously, with the Poppy, you know, obviously, it's definitely a counter pick into Irelia, and Irelia is a really strong champion, and we have seen in if you have been watching the World Championship, a lot of teams are picking Poppy just to
mm,
counter the Irelia specifically, because if Irelia can't move, she is just a body bag with no HP.
yeah, exactly. And being able to shut down that blade surge is such an important aspect of picking
Yes.
Poppy here. So I do like it for that purpose. I just think, you know, Aurelia's not going anywhere. You can maybe learn a
Yeah,
little bit more about the draft before
and
picking it.
obviously,
But with the Jarvan
Jarvan
as
is a
well,
really good blind pick. You know,
I
jungle,
like the Draven. Yeah, I think it's
jungle.
such a strong pick in both jungle and top, as you said, with the Doran's ring and the
Yeah.
summon area and all the other things that makes it work well. And so I quite like that pick, especially with the Poppy in response to the Aurelia. So it's a good start, I'd say, from both sides. And then moving
Uh,
forward from SG Momentum, going into the Graves Ezreal. So already you've got a
like
huge amount of AD. Um,
I don't like the Graves pick. Like if you just see the Poppy and you just pick another champion with a dash,
with the dash, yeah,
I
it's
don't really make sense. You have other junglers that you can have in your ADE junglers, because this is obviously a jungle pick now, because you've ruined the flex of the Irelia now. I mean
yeah.
you kind of haven't, because it still can be Irelia mid Graves top, but it's still like you're still weakening the flex potential, because Graves obviously you've seen him go top jungle mid, and Aurelia going mid top. So
Mhm.
you know you still have the flex, but it's slightly weaker now with the Aurelia, and
I
still
don't know.
also picking another dash champion who has with against the Poppy is just kind of a no go in my opinion.
He is a little bit of a questionable. I've seen a lot of Grave flex though. I've seen the Graves top. I've seen the Graves jungle. I mean, Graves jungle a little bit of a throwback now, but certainly with enough prowess, it could be played that way. And I have seen a few games from the jungler of SG Momentum Kung Fu played as Graves jungle, so it very much could be in the jungle as well, still leaving that Aurelia at the top or mid. But as you said, by picking that, it does reduce the options of flexing and sort of makes their comp much more determined as to what they're going to be.
Yeah.
And the Ezreal, SG Momentum again, their AD carry plays quite a bit of Ezreal from what I've seen their solo queue stats, and that's completely fine. It's a good champion at the moment as well. I'd say it's got its own strengths and it's a solid first blind pick as well, having not seen what ZRJ had picked yet. I think it's a solid pick, but you've put so much emphasis onto your AD here. You know, if you're Zero Gaming, you can just look at picking up the Malphite or something if you've not already got the Poppy. Well, even then you can still flex it. You know, you can pick up Rammus or just something anti-armor, and SGM would be put in such a corner, and they don't
Yeah.
choose to do that. Well, you can argue they do that with Braum among other things, but
Um,
I do think they did draft themselves a
yeah.
little bit into a corner.
Let's speed up things through, because obviously if this was a live
We
draft,
could talk about the draft phrases. Yeah,
we would have a lot less time to talk about
yeah.
draft. But now since we see every pick, we have a lot of time. Let's just keep things a bit fast. They pick the Ashe into the Ezreal. Obviously, Ashe is probably really good into the Irelia. You know, make her move less. You know, makes
Hmm.
sense to me. Graves obviously will basically just become a turret, a cannonball. If because Graves can't move, Ezreal can't move. You know, Ashe is really good. Problem is with now these three picks, I don't really see the carry. You can argue
Hmm.
with the Ashe, but I've never seen Ashe as like the carry champion. I've seen Ashe
No,
as, you
much
know,
more
yeah,
utility.
for you pick her for the utility, which, yeah, and then okay, and then the last two bans. They have Yon LeBlanc for SG Momentum, obviously targeting the mid laner of Zero Gaming, and
Hmm.
then into with the Lilia and the Kale from the side of Zero Gaming. Now Lilia, I like that ban, but I think at this point you should probably consider that is a Graves jungle. Still could be Graves top with an AP jungler. So makes sense that they ban it. And Lilia is really a good champion, especially with the team comp they're having, because you get the Lilia sleep, and then Irelia can just go ham with the Blade Storm.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then shutting out those AP options, because as said, SGM put themselves in that AD corner, so denying as much of that AP as possible, try and put them on something uncomfortable. And I
Yeah.
think that's what they did manage and aim for. And KO Xandar is a bit of a KO player as well, among other
Yeah.
things. So
Oh yeah.
understandable and a bit of a respectful
Zandar's
ban. And
Zandar's famous Kale.
and
And
yeah.
then we have for the if they and the Yon and the LeBlanc ban for SG Momentum. Probably they want to just remove carry champions from the mid laner, just so that
hmm
he has a harder time carrying.
Yeah, and
And
just get rid of some of the damage because, as you said,
yeah,
it's one of the things that ZRJ was missing and arguably still are is damage, and that's two huge damage threats they've taken off the
yeah.
table.
Okay, and then we go into Kennen Soraka. Obviously, now Kennen is a really strong pick in the meta at the moment. Does huge damage, really good in team fights,
hmm
really good in lane. It's just a really good champion in general. It's just yeah, and it opens up the draft for for an AD jungler with an AD mid laner, because obviously a lot of AD champions here are extremely busted.
Yeah.
And Kennen works as a counter pick against most of the OP top laners at the moment, such as Irelia, such as Fiora, such as set like ranged into melee, infamous matchup in the top lane.
Especially in the top, yeah, and I somewhat see what SGM is doing with their game plan, right? Because we've got all five picks, so we can see that what they want to do. They want Aurelia, assuming it's going to be more tanky Aurelia, to just go in those fights, survive as long as possible, to make room for the Graves, for the Ezreal to just go in and just pump out
Yeah.
consistent damage all the time, and then you've got Soraka keeping everyone alive, and Kennen with that huge AOE team fight just to try and wrap everything up, or even pull the trigger. So I like that they've got two ways to pull the trigger, two ways to keep the consistent damage, and Soraka to just make sure no one ever dies.
But
So very clear game plan what they want to do if they choose to fight, because Graves Aurelia, very good split pushers, even Cannon as well. So I think they leave themselves a lot of flexibility as to how they want to play their
yeah,
game plan.
although I don't really love the Soraka ban. I don't really see it doing a lot. Honestly, I would probably just prefer to have a Karma or
I think it's going to
something
get
else
left behind.
that has better things to do with Ezreal. Because I don't really like the Soraka Ezreal lane.
Yeah, I can see Soraka getting left behind in all these
Yeah,
fights. You've got all these dashes on these champions when
and a
it's
lot of
not being
dive.
blocked by Poppy. They're going to be right in the middle or on the sides. Soraka's just going to be running out by
Yeah,
herself.
and then we have the Braum Gwen pick. So you can obviously see that Zero Gaming has just a lot of tankiness, a lot of dissing. Not a
hmm
lot of dissing it, but they have a lot of tankiness. Like Jarvan,
Yeah.
really bulky bruiser, Poppy, tank champion, unless you're certain people and build her assassin. And then you have the Ashe, very utility based, a lot of slows, a lot of Braum, a beefy boy with a beefy shield. And Gwen
Big
with
beef.
her Sinsa ultimate on her W and her massive amounts of healing and a bruiser. So they obviously want to go for a bulky team comp. So if this team gets an Ocean Soul, I think it's just game over.
So even with all this damage you have, there's no way you can out DPS just the amount of HP that they would have. And Ash Braum, that's a if you're looking into that, no matter what you play, that's a disgusting bot lane because you don't get to move ever. Braum hits you once, you're gonna get stunned. Ash slows you, hits you once, you're gonna get slowed, which means you're gonna get Braum hit, which means you're gonna get stunned. It's a disgusting bot lane.
Yeah.
It's a very good pickup from the side of Zero Gaming, I think, in my
Okay.
opinion. And I like the Gwen. Give that AP damage and a bit more consistent.
So before we get into the game, I want to just ask you who do you think is gonna win this game between SG Momentum and Zero Gaming?
I think SG Momentum has the damage to outdo the tankiness because I think Zero Game is going to struggle to find their own damage in team fights.
Yeah, I think the early game is just a lot in SG Momentum's hands. Graves, really strong early game champion. Irelia, just never weak in general.
hmm
And they just see a lot of scaling, but also not. Jarvan doesn't scale very well. Poppy's like a tank. Doesn't really matter how good she scales. Ashe is kind of just the same champion throughout the game. You can argue Gwen has a lot of good scaling, but I still that's kind of it. So I don't know, but honestly, if there's an Ocean Soul in play, I can see Zero Gaming just having just the sustain just to survive and just re-engage. But I can also see SG Momentum snowballing. So you were betting on SG Momentum.
I'm gonna go with SG Momentum this
I'm
game.
gonna go with Zero Gaming then for just to keep it spicy.
Keep it spicy. I like it.
Yeah. So we are going to just get into the game. We are I'm just gonna put this here, and we'll see you when the game starts. Alright, and welcome back. I'm just gonna check if the game wants to show up. Can people confirm on the stream if you can see the game? Hello?
Let's just have a quick check.
If I can see the game.
Oh, incidentally, got an ad. Yet does seem to be working. Just need to pull the scoreboard up, and then everything will be all matched
the scoreboard up. Yeah, I just have to move the this and move this, and then how
you can turn the chat box off with the icon down at the bottom left.
I'm not. Sorry, guys. I'm not a tech genius. What?
That one, the bottom one.
Interface disability. Oh yeah. Chat.
And
just turn
that
shit
chat off. Scoreboard on.
Yep, scoreboard on. I think we are ready for game 1 of SG Momentum versus Zero Gaming.
Let's hit it. I'm interested to see if they do any level 1 shenanigans, because I feel like that's always an interesting aspect of teams to see what they do with the level 1, whether it's just covering or not, because I think, Ash Braum, you gotta try and do something level 1, right?
Yep.
I just don't see a world where they try something where Zero Gaming tries something.
We do actually have a 5-man walk. The squad are barreling it down to the bot side of is Ezreal gonna get caught up here? Does he have the arcane shift? He does not have the arcane shift. He started Q and had to flash. That is a huge summoner spell burnt from SG Momentum.
And that's absolutely free. That's the power of Ash right there. Just landed 1 auto attack, and AD carry Ben 2 knew he's got a flash, or he's gonna be slowed. He's gonna be caught, and that's a respect flash.
But we do actually see an invade coming in from the top side, and Poppy and Gwen, Riverick and Zixer and Chunky Puto is actually gonna be a fight. Who's actually gonna win this one? We'll see. They're gonna walk into it. Poppy getting a huge shot in a 3-man stun! It has first blood for Rusutstas.
And there you go. There's just, you walk into 3 of them with the huge damage you have from point blank Graves and Aurelia. There's just nothing you can do at that point. Just completely shut out, and it's going to be red buff secured by the side of SG Momentum, and that's a lovely advantage they got themselves for absolutely free.
And yeah, that's very unfortunate. I wish I could toggle on names, because I hate having to read on the site to remember these guys' name, but hopefully it will be solved in the end. Hopefully it will be fine anyway. But yeah, very good start from SG Momentum.
Yeah, certainly, certainly. If you just go into the eye icon in the bottom left as well, because the just above the scoreboard, the time time
Yeah, we
control
have to
thing.
turn
Yeah,
that on,
that's the one. Just so we don't see when things are gonna be happening.
The directed camera is on right now, so yeah.
So in the bot lane, as we'd expect, the Ashe just
see a bit of
prowling down
trading,
that lane. Yeah, just
trying to abuse.
extreme.
Ooh, that's a huge chunk of that.
That's
And you
good
see the
pace
power
back.
of the Soraka. You know, you get the trade, and Soraka heals it back for you.
And Soraka is very important. There you go, land those Qs, gives that healing for that much cheaper cost, and just makes lane sustaining that much easier. And Ashe, level 2 advantage, gonna force out the arcane shift again from the back out to safety. Just some healthy trading in the bot lane.
And we do have Chucky actually staying on the bot side of the map, probably looking to abuse the fact that Ezreal does not have flash, but the wave sadly has crashed into their tower, and just you can't do anything with that wave.
No, absolutely. I'm interested to see how the jungler makes up for the red buff that they almost certainly know is gone. You can see he's gone for the full clear at the moment, going for the scrab, and they're just gonna handshake off their crabs at the moment.
Yeah.
Training up in the top lane.
Obviously, Poppy getting quite abused by the cannon in the lane. Obviously, the range matchup is just a lot for a melee champion to handle. As we do actually see a bit of a gank trying to happen in this lane. Chucky trying to gank Sixer on the Gwen, but yeah, nothing's gonna happen for that. Yep, and yeah, it's very quiet early game, especially from that early first blood, but
certainly just the teams playing it out, farming their lanes, looking for the opportunities, but none of the wave states in positions that they need in order to make any plays happen. Certainly I think the players could be coordinating how they want to be making these plays, and I think seeing the ways that they utilize the power of these champions, because I think Jarvan's got a pretty hard time trying to gank anyone here, because you've got Kennen, he just dashes up, he just charges up, runs away, right? You've got Aurelia, she's going to stun, she's dashing everywhere anyway. It's really hard to land that knock up, and even in the bot lane, even if you do land something, Soraka's just going to heal up everything. It's a pretty difficult one, but I certainly think bot lane is going to be the way for Chucky to play through in order to get somewhere ahead.
Jarvan seemed to have gotten spotted in the top side of the map. We did see some pings going on top of Jarvan, so
so they know he's top lane, they know he's going to look for something, and you know, if you're trying to outfarm a Graves, you give him a few items, it's not going to happen, and Graves already picking up the serrated dirt, so he's going to be taking down those camps ridiculously quickly at this point.
Yep, that is tilting.
Yeah, over in CS wise, we've got top lane, Cannon, unsurprisingly, range versus melee. Figured it was going to happen, secure himself a nice 10 CS lead. Mid lane, relatively even at the moment as well. Yeah, and the Gwen mid to go against the Aurelia as opposed to the Poppy, just to try and get some of that explosivity in the mid lane with that, you know, that Gwen early damage. Although nerf is still present
we
in
do
the
see
bot
actually
lane.
Soraka rooting up Braum has to dash away to the minion. Oof.
He's going to survive it.
That
No
is
summoners
dangerous.
used.
Not respecting the early game damage that Soraka Ezreal lane can do.
Yeah, and that's going to be Dragon started up for the side of gaming as well.
Starting it up, they're actually going to secure it. Graves, first rate of the game, going over to SG Momentum. Kung Fu, really proactive in this early game after his massive lead.
And all Chucky that they can do is just farm the camps. Again, they're not going to be doing it as fast. The top crab unfortunately hadn't respawned, so Jarvan's just going to have to recall without having secured any advantages off the back of the dragon.
And I want to hear your opinion on this. Would you see there's any merit to a lane swap right now between Riverick and Sixer?
I think they'll end up in somewhat similar positions where at the moment Aurelia not looking for those explosive plays. I've not seen them go full on yet against the Gwen, and vice versa in the top lane. I've just seen Razustash just poking down as a Riverick and just putting him down into that melee versus range matchup. I think even if they did lane swap, they'd be in the same position. Aurelia's just going to farm, not going to be able to go in. Cannon's going to poke down the Gwen. It's going to be a similar situation.
But then you have to realize, like, if Aurelia tends to like the front with the Q, oh wait, strike that, we'll see a bit of trading happening in the moment. Not happening. Okay, back to the point earlier. So, but Aurelia really likes to farm with Q. He has a tendency of most Aurelia players, so Poppy can just like W, just kind of bait the Q, and you can just kind of just do a big trade. I think that there could be any merit to that, but I do agree with you on the point that it's just gonna be the same.
Yeah, unless you're looking to set up a gank off of the back of that.
Yeah.
Aurelia's already got the Vamp Scepter, you know, the classic meme Vamp Scepter full build on Aurelia. You're already sustaining for days. There's nothing you can really do. Even if you stop the dash once, the W's got a pretty substantial cooldown for Poppy. It's just gonna be waiting. Does manage to secure his
invade here, actually. Level 6 versus level 6, John Grave, but that Grave's just this extra straight drug. There's huge damage, actually flashed over the wall! Poppy with the stun and the ultimate on top of that. Graven has Gwen on top of his side. That's an in from Kung Fu. Kill for Sixer, and they're gonna turn it onto Rusostas. But actually, we do see a trade in the bot lane. Braum and Ash, but when Arcane shifts away, Ezreal gets out safely. But that is a big in from Kung Fu.
Yeah, I think a great collapse from the side of Zero Gaming there to just understand that, okay, look, he's going to contest this red buff, we've got the numbers, let's just collapse and make him pay for it. And I think that was really well played by the Joker to get behind those frogs.
Oh, what we do, Asher comes out on top of Ezreal. Asher, Braum on top of that, Ezreal gets exhausted but has the arch shift away. Braum has to shield the wrong way.
And they're just focusing Ezreal, so Rocket's just sat there healing.
Huge damage on top of Ezreal. Oh, one more out would do it, but he's gonna flash away, get away from that. Oh, actually, here comes Graves. Braum, Ash, really low. Is it gonna be a double kill for it? It looks like a very good double kill for Kung Fu. Oh, drops the smoke screen. Actually, a TP coming in from that on top. Oh, they're so low, and the Ben 2 actually gets the snipe. Poppy trades back for one, but Graves actually picks it up on top of Braum. And Hayes have to run away. The little Yord with the big hammer has to run away from the big madman with the big shotgun.
Is she gonna get away? They have the damage. They dive. No, they don't want to push it anymore with the dive. And well, there you go. That's the fight back there from SG Momentum, making the plays in the bot lane. That's what happens when you try and kill Ezreal. Soraka is just sitting there free healing him. They're not even. They can't reach her. So what are they supposed to do? Ezreal in that fight should have died so many times, but he just didn't because of the heal. And Ash Braum, you can't keep up in this sustained fight unless you kill that Soraka. They never do, and so SG Momentum just turn it around on them and kill them in return. They just stole
have a lane swap coming out.
They do. Bot lane working their way to the top side, and I think that's got to be a way for Zero Game to try and get that Herald, right? That's the main reason you want to swap your bot lane up to the top side, to secure that Herald. So I'm interested to see what they do. Jarvan, yeah, you can see they brought the Jarvan up, clearing out vision. Braum sweeping as well. That's got to be into the Herald.
Yeah, definitely looking to secure the Herald here, and that would actually be a very good pickup from the side. So the gold lead currently sitting at a comfortable 1k for the side of SG Momentum. But you have to agree well. that whole advantage was just a straight to dirt.
Pretty much, that's right there. You can see the work it's putting in. Graves already chunking out huge amounts of damage in that fight when he did eventually join. And there's the Herald, as expected. Bring the bot lane up to secure it. Now, where they put it is important, because do you want to free up the Gwen? Do you want to free up the Poppy? Because those are your choices. Be interested in where they put it. In the bot lane, SGM
it's painful for Poppy, but you know, the weak side king, we have to hope that Riverick is the weak side king that Zero Gaming needs right now. Just has to just suck it up and just hope for the best at this point.
That's the third play going down for the side of SG Momentum on that Ezreal. Soraka is there to share the gold, unfortunately for some, but I mean, Soraka getting ahead is not the worst thing in the world. The more they are able to get their mythic and be able to survive even longer in these fights.
And the pings are coming in for a mid lane play. Look,
or mid, they're committing.
They have the Ash ultimate, they were it lands on top of Sandor. Sandor gets knocked up and Sandor just gets taken down by Sixer. Very nice, clean play from Zero Gaming.
Yep, identifying Xandar as no flash. He can't do anything if he doesn't dodge the arrow. He unfortunately doesn't, so you get the CC upon the CC, and yeah, nothing he can do to that.
Sandor's gonna get memed to hell in chat after this game.
A little bit, but Ezreal did get the solo plate, so Ben 2 getting even larger on this Ezreal now. He is down in CS, unfortunately, but he basically got the equivalent of 3 kills, or 2 if you managed to secure themselves.
You know,
Baron.
I would like SG Momentum to be a bit more proactive. You know, you have that lead. You have a lot of snowbally champions in the form of the Graves and Aurelia. I think you should. I would like to see a bit more plays going on the map, but Graves just farming right now. Actually, he has done an invade. He's gonna meet up with Poppy. There could be a collapse here on the Poppy.
He's doing it without vision. It's quite risky, but
they are gonna see him. Cannon has ultimate. They could go for the tower dive if they want to, deciding not to and just walks away.
I see. I think they have the damage with the cannon, with the Hextech ultimate, with the Graves. Already got the Ghost Blade, by the way, so that's showing just how proficient that they are. Kung Fu is farming on that Graves, securing the advantages through that absolutely insane clear speed.
But we do see the early Ghost Blade here.
Seen quite a few of that in Worlds, try and give you that movement speed. I think in terms of what Mythic, it depends whether he's going, I'm assuming it's going to be full AD crit Graves, or it could be lethality.
It's probably looking for lethality. When you build a Ghost Blade item, you're most likely looking for some lethality. So probably, and especially when they have the way tankier team comp, you know, I would expect something like an Eclipse here. Could still go for the Lord Dominic's regard still, even though you're not building crit.
Shout out to mid laners who give their support the cannon when they roam to the lane, because yeah, Broadman just kind of got there for nothing as well.
Oh, and that Ezreal ult going wide, probably just gonna show off to the Ashe, try to pick up some ladies in the bot lane.
Going for the picks, not quite working out, but
yeah. Oh, actually, Arcane shifts in, Exalt on top of Ashe, gets Ashe ulted. Is it gonna be enough? Altus. Oh, the Ezreal attack. That is very good. And the Ezreal attack ends it on Bento with the solo kill on Toriki.
Toriki just disrespecting just the, even though Ezra's behind minions, he's literally just also in her down. He is able to just pick up the kill from the back of that, because Ashe unfortunately didn't really respect that.
Chucky is actually here. Maybe he's gonna look for a play. Actually, we have Xandars and Kung Fu are moving down to the bot lane. Oh, okay, no. Only Kung Fu. No, never mind.
Just looking for the farm, not looking for anything in particular. I think they're just trying to...
Oh, they are gonna meet up. They are gonna meet up with Sixer in the mid lane. Smoke screen on top, Aurelia in the back. Has the Blade Storm. Is this gonna be a dead Gwen? No. They miss the invisibility in the healing. Oh, and that's a lot of damage, but oh, Xandars gets turned around them! And that's a kill for Sixer! That is really good from Sixer.
Xandars, if he wasn't before, he's definitely gonna get flamed in chat for that one. That's gotta feel bad. Goes for the dive. Unfortunately not successful for the side of SG Momentum, and it is gonna give over the kill to the Gwen, who is now 3-0. Not ahead in CS, but got those all important Ninja Tabbies or plated steel caps. And of course the Rift.
I actually do see Poppy going in on top of the cannon, but the ult on top, and that is a great turn. Oh, actually comes up with 1 HP, and that is just really lucky from River.
That was a really aggressive play.
Oh, but actually Kung Fu coming from behind with the Ghost Blade. Poppy still hasn't recalled yet, but he turned around onto Rusutas, who actually gets a look at it. Poppy's still alive. Chucky goes back on top of it, and the shutdown from Chucky on top of Kung Fu. Disaster for SG Momentum.
Huge play for the side of Chucky there, absolutely carrying that by coming in at the right time. Absolute props for Riverick for not recalling, by the way, and for staying.
That is balls of steel.
Committing to
balls of steel.
Balls of steel. This is why Poppy's a hero. You know, she absolutely stayed, and such a good play to turn that around for the 2-0 for the side of Zero Gaming. I am interested to see how they try and snowball the lead, because we see... I didn't see where the Herald went. I assume it's mid.
Oh, Brom's gonna call has to flash away.
Respectful flash coming out from the not in range for the jump. That's going to be Summoners down. It's not the end of the world for it being on the Braum, but it does reduce his playmaking ability, especially when I think he is a key part of making these team fights work.
If this was Hylissang's Braum, he would have needed that flash.
Indeed. Now, how we're gonna see the snowballing play out is, I think what is important is...
the Ashe Arrow goes on top of Ezreal, has the Arcane Shift, but it comes short! You have the Bronze Dagger on top, just needs one out of the stun, but just gonna get on it eventually.
Arcane Shift, but a little bit too much self-heal for that. They're not able to connect any of the follow-up CC. Enchanted Crystal Arrow just a little bit too far away for Bro to be able to follow up with them. So this should be a successful second dragon for
You
Zero
have
G,
Kung
but
Fu here. Is he gonna look for the steal? I don't think he can get into the field. But they
Xander
turn
with a
around to
flank.
Xander. Xander's getting caught out with the exhaust, with the everything. Poppy cannot move. But here comes Rusitas with the cannon ultimate, and they actually managed to turn around Ultra Rivica. But the three-man Demacian Justice on top of from Chucky, and oh, that's so much damage from the Poppy. Oh, they are turned up, but they are so low. Ezreal just free hitting in the backline. Ben 2. Oh my god, man. So much shit happening. I can't cast in this, man. Oh my god.
Oh, the triple kill for Ben2, and that is the power of Soraka. You don't kill her, she's just going to keep everyone alive. And who does she keep alive? Ezreal. He's got the Sunderer, he's got the boots, he is pumping out consistent damage against the tanky team that is Zero Gaming. And so, if they don't kill the Ezreal, he's just going to be free hitting in the backline. That's exactly what it did, and that's exactly why it worked out. Sure, Zero Gaming get the dragon, but you know, in exchange for a dirty ace, if you will, wasn't really worth it.
And
No, they weren't able to get much.
Sandar's just getting caught out, can't do anything, especially with the Poppy W on top of him. And you know, Xandar's, you know, you're not making a case for yourself of not getting memed after this game. Sorry, man.
You went for the flank, it was a good idea, but forgetting that Poppy was there, right? And that's exactly what makes Poppy the good pick into Aurelia, just shutting down that potential flank. Does manage to get the Vanguard's edge off, but just gets exhausted. Phenomenal exhaustion Ben 2 there to just shut down all of the Aurelia damage and just gets bursted like that. Picked up by Toriki over the side when flashed as well, so it was an unfortunate play.
If there are any Aurelia players in chat, I would suggest banning Poppy unless you're playing it one.
I think that was a bit of an oversight from.
And they will secure the Rift Herald. Probably looking to spawn a spin. Actually, they're shouting Crystal running on top of the Soraka. Ignite on top, and that is a kill steal reported, Ryu. You are so reported after that one. Oh, but Gwen is actually trying to turn it on to Ben 2.
Okay, did they carry
the needles. Oh, and the Broncu and is secured by Toriki.
Gonna walk out. Ben 2 not respecting the damage and the follow-up from the dive potential team that is SGM, so they're just gonna pop the Herald mid, try and secure that mid lane tower, push the disadvantage they've got off of those two clean pickup kills.
We'll get another Rift
solo. Yeah, 2 charges and 2 towers off of the Rift Herald. Did they continue? No, they're gonna back off. The whole team's back up. They've used some key ultimates. They don't want to fight at the moment. So Zero Gaming going to be very happy with their play and just backing off.
The next objective, I'm assuming it's going to be the Rift Herald. No, not the Rift Herald. The Baron Nashor.
Baron spawned up. Now, how do you feel about the early takes of Baron from the team? What do you think of the possibilities of that 20-22 minute early Baron?
You know, you do have a lot of you have your auto attackers with the Aurelia who now has the Blade of the Rune King. Huge power spike, famous power spike for Aurelia. You have seen that power spike tear you up in solo queue a lot of times before. So you kind of have the damage on SG momentum to actually just go for this Baron. Along with the burst from Graves, you know, I think there's a lot of merit to do that, but not really so much for Zero Gaming. You know, doesn't really have the consistent damage to go for it.
I don't know. I think you gotta respect the J4 flag, right? In the attack speed that it gives, because you've got two auto-attacking champions. You've got Gwen, who, with the snip going to be dealing that true damage to Baron at the same time. Ash is going to be sitting there dealing that crit damage every single attack. And with the Ash build, I like the recurve bow. The Mortal Reminder. Such a gold efficient item at the moment. It provides you such good stats for such a cheap price. And as well as that 60% healing reduction, you're playing against a Soraka. Every single member on the side of Zero Gaming has picked up some form of healing reduction.
Objective timer, so we can have that in mind.
I think that's absolutely crucial. You're playing as Aurelia, Soraka, Graves, Ezreal. If you don't pick up
we do have the Infernal Drake spawning in about 30 seconds, so I'm thinking the next fight is gonna probably happen around that one.
Well, Zero Gaming, they've already secured themselves river positioning. They've got the vision, you know, jungler SG momentum. Kung Fu's going topside at the moment, warding out the Baron while Dragon's spawning in, you know, 20 seconds. They're nowhere to be seen. They have no control, no vision over this Dragon, and that's just got to be a free Dragon for Zero Gaming at this point. Unless they're poising for the Baron take. They're going to be swapping the Baron for the
They are going to start
Dragon.
up, but they are going to be stopped by Riverick.
Okay,
Behind it has to back off because of the Ashe. And that is just that's also free passage on top of the Infernal Drake.
That's the free dragon. They went for the play. They didn't have vision of all the members, and so it's not going to work out.
They kind of changed down Riverick, but I don't think they're gonna actually manage to take the Poppy.
I mean, they've got a lot of catch up.
No damage, and they're actually gonna call out the Flagon Drag on top of Sandars. Oh, Sandars has to flash away from the Jarvan Arc. Ooh, that's a good stun. Oh, and they just get out. And actually, SG Momentum are turning right back onto the Baron, but can they actually keep doing this? Do they have the time to do it? Sixer has TP.
There's two tanky members there.
Charging up the ultimate, actually gets away the cannon. Double TPs coming in from both from the side of SG Momentum and Zero Gaming. Poppy W on top of the Aurelia, and that's a 3-man cannon ultimate, and that is just a decimation of Zero Gaming from SG Momentum. Can't do anything. Soraka is just way too much, and that's probably gonna be Nash.
Yeah, phenomenal cannon ult from Rosetas there, just getting in the middle of 3 of them, completely turning the fight. You know, I think that TP and the TP positioning, as well as the positioning from the side of Zero Gaming, they just kind of set themselves up to get hit by that huge surge of cannon. And that's unfortunately just going to lose in the fight and going to secure Baron for the side of SG Momentum. I think this might be their avenue to securing that late game advantage. Jarvan hovering for the steal.
Jarvan going in with the Gorgon, but just gets hooked instantly, and that is rough. Probably didn't have the vision and had to time it.
Yeah, went for the random guess, and gotta respect, he got it close, but amazing choice by SG Momentum. Just completely stop hitting Baron, start hitting Chucky, and he just goes down. He throws out the smite as a last ditch attempt, but I think that was, what, 65, maybe 160 HP? Not gonna be able to secure it.
And, yeah.
Zero Gaming just trying to push out what waves they can before the newly empowered, Baron empowered SG Momentum come back off of their resets.
You know, the silver lining, there is a silver lining here. That even though you are kind of playing towards scaling with the Gwen, you have secured the first 3 Drakes, so you can actually delay. But here's the thing, Ezreal and Aurelia scale really well too.
Yeah, and I think Zero Gaming, they just don't have any wave clear, you know. Ashe going for the more of the on hit as opposed to the Runan's build, you know. Who's gonna clear waves? They're 4 melee champions and with an Ashe. And, you know, it works in some regards, but against this team from SG Momentum that has those ranged options, you know, Ezreal just by himself is a huge siege threat. So I think they're gonna struggle against this Baron push.
Yeah.
Zero Gaming holding out somewhat well. SG Momentum not really looking like they know where to press their advantage. They've kind of just sent everyone out and just gone, alright, go do your own thing. You know, there's still the mid T1 standing on the side of Zero Gaming, still not been taken down, and they're not really committing to anything at the moment, other than Kung Fu just going deep and stealing farm again.
But do they need to? You know, I mean, they kind of do. You have the Baron buff, but you did mention the side lane potential of SG Momentum.
Yeah, and I want to see them utilize it, but their core Sandar's coming up to the mid lane, looking like they are trying to make a play for this T1 tower now that they've pushed some of their side lanes in. Right on the side, no TP, all important. Blaring out those minions.
I'll be charging up the ult, hitting nothing, just showing off a bit of helicopter action.
With the cannon, you know, when a cannon stood in front of you, you're not too scared of him dashing in because you can see exactly what he's going to do. And they've spotted Xandar's on the map on a ward down in the bot side, so even though he's not going to be flanking. So SG Momentum just trying to walk their minions into the mid lane, and Zero Gaming, because none of them are really walking up, they're just able to defend it, no problem at all. And neither teams really commit to anything, and so nothing happens, which is ideal for the side of Zero Gaming. They want to stall out this Baron as long as possible, and that's exactly what they're doing. I mean,
yeah,
you can
we
see
have the dragon spawning in 45 seconds. I believe the next fight is going to happen around that objective.
Be interesting to see again if SG Momentum do fail to set up around the dragon beforehand, and if Zero Gaming are going to be able to secure that. You know, they're bringing the full mash. They've got those hawk shots to spot out the enemies. And just taking a look at the gold in the farm real quick. Graves, the jungler, mind you, on the highest CS in the game, 238. Not necessarily something I'm surprised at. Graves, one of those champions that can just farm to the ends of the earth.
And we do actually see the crit Graves.
Crit Graves, yeah, he's going for the Lord Doms, which I think is necessary against their team, and that shield bow, mortal shield bow, just to ensure that he stays alive even longer.
Having control of the Drake, they probably can just burst it down.
Yeah,
but
they
look,
do get
just
first.
looking to zone them off, just to be on the safe side.
First position. Kennen in the top side does have TP though, so
does River. As we have Zero Gaming starting up them and TP from River coming in here, and also TP from Kennen keeping in the back. But that is just going to be a secured Inferno Soul for Zero Gaming. Very anticlimactic.
Again, SG Gaming, SG Momentum, sorry, just not able to get a foothold on that dragon positioning, and Zero Gaming coming from the bot. They took that dragon down before the TPs had much chance to even get into position, and so they just bursted down quicker than SGM can respond in terms of a team fight. And yeah, just without that,
a bit of action happening in mid. Looking for the engage, goes on top of Ben too, but it's just too much stealing and a double stomp from Kennen. Here comes Graves, looking for the one shot. Kills Chucky. Is he gonna be able to kill Poppy? No, actually, he turned around on them. And Gwen actually on the top side managed to get a double kill. Trying to turn around to Sanders, but Sanders on the Aurelia is a bit too strong. And wait, actually, it's a clean from Zero Gaming, man. By casting it off today.
Yeah, it is gonna be the 4 for 3. They're looking for the Ezreal, but with that poke, this is exactly where he's dangerous at the moment. I'm not going to be able to pick up anything in response. Now, tell me a little bit, what's your thoughts right now? I don't know if you've seen the Ezreal Lord Dominic's regard. Yeah.
I'm gonna report Bella after this game. Why don't you just go Sorelda's?
I think Shirelda's, especially on Ezreal, right, you're going to be landing abilities. That slow is a huge bit of utility for Ezreal. He's already got enough self-heal. Also, the ability base. Just hit cut down in a rune. Coup de Grace is not the only rune that exists in the Conqueror tree, by the way.
Like, why are you building Lord Dom? You're not going to utilize the passive because you're building HP.
Exactly. Assuming he's going to be going for the Frozen Heart at some point, because, you know, they've got 3 auto-attacking champions for the side of Zero Gaming. It's a questionable build. I'd be interested to see how much damage the passive actually did. Which I'm not going to be able to see that specifically.
And we actually see SGM the Baron doing a lot of damage onto it. And we see Zero Gaming not actually being ready for it. They don't actually spot it.
They just don't respect the ability and the speed
and they have spotted it now, but it's just way too late.
Yeah, Graves. I like the collateral damage for the little finisher there, but yeah, that's just another Baron to the side of SG Momentum, which at this point is what they need to stall out the game. Zero Gaming, they've got their Dragon Soul. The downside of this, it means that Elder Soul is spawning, right? The problem with that Elder Dragon is that is a complete game changer. Whichever team has Elder Dragon, pretty much 9 times out of 10 wins every team fight they're in. And a 5-on-5, you most of the time cannot fight against that Elder Dragon. Especially with the side with the team comp that Zero Gaming has. I don't think there is any way they can beat SG Momentum in a 5v5 if SG Momentum have that Elder Dragon. So by getting that spawn, by getting that soul, it does mean that that insane 50-50 almost is on the board, and something that I think SG Momentum need to prioritize.
Okay, yeah, but before that fight's gonna happen, we can just look at. Wait, I don't think it's gonna actually. Is 6 actually gonna get caught out? Sanders and Graves just. Wait, Lorian, not to down, but the enchanted Crystal Arrow saves him, and it's a double kill for Sixer.
The enchanted Crystal Arrow, but VG Ixer, that was insane play. The absolute knowledge of knowing I can go in here and I'm going to kill them both, and just no fear in the mid lane.
Slow's going down, Ash just dishing out damage, being a fucking machine gun, but Rio kills this again, double reported, and they're trying to go on top of Soraka, but I think Soraka is like just barely going to get out. I will see some shedding in the top lane, but I don't think there's gonna be anything happening with that. Oh.
There's Wits End Ash, by the way. The move speed combined with the slow in the top
Poppy's getting
lane.
a bit too aggressive. Riverick, Ash can just run away, but they are actually just gonna walk it down in the mid lane. And taking that inhib just before, a bit before Elder Spot, very smart.
Very, very good. Gonna keep that wave pushed in all of the time, forcing SGM to commit a member to it in order for it to stay pushed and securing the bot lane tower for that threat.
But man,
well.
Sixer just has to give a big hug to Torek after that one. Like, and Shulker's just saving his ass, handing in the double kill.
Absolutely, that was insane. Without that Ash arrow, there's no way he wins that. But absolute props as well to the Ash, knowing that I can just run them down here and they're fine. A little bit of an overstay on Riverick, but
fucking
collateral damage not gonna connect. So
Neo dodging the Graves ultimate.
Safely away.
But you see the gold lead now has shifted. It's now just barely even a 1k gold lead for SG Momentum.
Yeah, and that's just that power of taking those towers, running them down, even against the Baron buff that SG Momentum have. They're just not committing to anything at the moment. You know, they're not trying to take a 5v5. They're just getting picked all over the map. You know, they tried to take a fight over the Gwen on the bot side, but they didn't really have vision on the Jarvan. The enchanted Crystal Arrow coming in to secure the support as well. They just don't seem to know what their own game plan is at the moment.
As we do have the dragon spawning in 30 seconds, this is pretty much gonna decide the game for either team.
Riverick stay in top lane with the TP, but we've got
honestly, I think
they
are looking for a pick onto Gwen, and that Kennen ultimate, crucial ultimate, has to be burned, and they're turning it back now onto Ezreal. The enchanted Cristiano misses, but I think it does not gonna matter. Ezreal actually runs away, Arcane shifts away. Blade Storm from Xandar, Poppy in there, but the Soraka healing is just way too much, and Zero Gaming are getting low. Ben 2 snipes Chucky, and Graves one shot. Gwen, but they're actually turning around. Ash pumping out damage from the backline, but that's not enough. Graves and Ben 2, way too much to handle, and that's the ace for SG Momentum, and they're turning onto the Elder Dragon.
It is. That's that 5v5 we needed to see for the side of SG Momentum. The only way that they can win this game, I think, is through that 5v5, and that Soraka safely sat behind these three giant meat shields in front of her who don't die because they either have too much sustain, they have Zonyas if you can, or they just get healed to the nth degree thanks to Soraka. And there is the Dragon Soul.
Why do you do this to me, Ben 2? You Mercurial Scimitar now. Why don't you just have QSS?
He's going for crit. Maybe we'll see the Infinity Edge Ezreal. Who knows?
Ben 2 should not be allowed to win this game.
He'd have the 60%. I think he's obviously done it to try and negate any Ash Crystal arrows, but that's the only real form of CC that I undoubtedly think he's going to get hit by. But I think this is where the Soraka going for the redemption maybe could have just rushed the Mikaels, freed up that Ezreal to go something a little bit more aggressive, but I respect the choice.
I don't.
Yeah, I build Scimitar myself on Ezreal a few times when I know I just need to survive those fights. That's fair enough.
Wait, what division did you play
I'm just
in?
a Div 2 player.
Yeah,
don't listen to me.
Don't talk. Nah, you're great.
But Ash got the stopwatch as well. 2 stopwatches for the side of Zero Gaming, and
have spotted out Draven. Ash is out the way, and they're just barreling it down mid.
I mean, yeah, you got the
If
soul.
you're on the side of Zero Gaming, you just don't want to fight them. Because Ken is just gonna one-shot your entire team with the Elder Dragon.
Exer is sat on that flank position. You can see him down south looking to try and make something happen, but as you mentioned, just going to retreat back once the wave is gone. They're looking to push in the top lane as well. Going to send off Resistance to go and do that. And I mean, they've got the Dragon Soul, but it's fair play from Zero Gaming, just not giving them anything to work with. And I think they're just going to be forced to give up that Baron.
Yeah, with the Elder Dragon, I have basically no hopes in Zero Gaming actually managed to win a fight around that dragon, and it just goes down that quickly.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they can't step up, they can't go in because of the Elder Soul, and the objective timings match up so much so that they're just able to secure the 3rd Baron in this game, by the way, 4-3, and that's despite Zero Gaming. You know, they've got the Dragon Soul, they've got all these power advantages, but they cannot secure this Baron. They just keep taking things at the wrong time, and SG Momentum just gonna start barreling it down in the mid lane, taking the tower. The side lane from Exo though.
Six are just sitting in the bot lane of.
And he's committing to the split push, and that's fair enough. It is a
know
choice.
if they can. Cannon actually trying to go in with the ultimate. Very low, but just can't flash away. And they're actually doing a lot of damage onto the cannon, but the Soraka healing is just kind of way too much. When with the threaded needle, it's not gonna be enough damage. Oh, actually, no, from the SGS are getting really low. Hope they can actually go on top and actually get the kill. Oh, but the R took it away.
Comes the redemption and the Soraka.
There
just
comes the
gonna bring him
healing
back
and the repo.
HP. So
it's sad. They need an explosive engage.
And they just used it all, and they don't have it because they've just been healed up. So SG Momentum.
Oh, but actually Jordan actually going in, double knockup, but with the silence can't actually ult in time. When it's all on you, bro. Sixer, you've been great so far. Let's see what you can do, buddy. But no, it's the healing is just way too much. But actually, Ash is actually being untouched in the backline. Poppy is really tanky and trying to get on top of the cannon, but Soraka healing! It is just too unfair! And that is gonna be game 1 for SG Momentum.
There you go, they took the 5v5, they had that last bit of the Dragon Soul, the Elder Soul coming in to just secure that first team fight, and there's the power of the Soraka. I don't know, you doubted it to begin with, but Zero Gaming just had no way to get onto the Soraka, so they just sat in the backline, healing through all of the damage that Zero Gaming was dealing, meant that they could just at no point get a consistent long fight that worked in their favor, because they could never kill Soraka.
Yeah, and you know it may not have been clean, but you know you get it in the end. And as the famous saying goes, we take those.
And they do indeed take those. So first game, 2 in SG Momentum. Prediction, prophecy fulfilled. What can I say? But no, I do think that there were certainly some gaps in the early to mid game from SG Momentum, not really pressing the advantage they have. But I respect the choice to just bide their time, secure every single Baron that come up to make sure they don't lose any major advantages, and as a result, they just managed to barrel down the mid lane once they were strong enough to just start slapping them with their 4-5 item carries, and a Soraka safely selected in the bot lane.
Yeah, and and because all these games are pre-recorded, that means there won't be any breaks in between matches. So just shortly, we're gonna have the second draft. I mean, see. Here we have the draft, but we also have to shift over the nope, that's the right one. There we go. Okay, so we do have the second draft. So let's have a bit of a look-see. So,
alright, so
we have
Zero Gaming on the first pick.
So yeah, but first we're gonna talk about the ban. So from Zero Gaming, they banned out the Tahm Kench, Lee Sin, and Cannon. I do like the Cannon ban. Cannon was a huge player in the last game.
Absolutely. Tearing it up with those Cannon ultimates, completely turning those team fights exactly when SG Momentum needed them to secure those advantages. And Lee Sin, again, respecting the Kung Fu, the jungler for SGM, to make sure he doesn't get that. And the Tahm Kench, interesting, it's not, I don't believe that was banned last time. I guess maybe a comfort ban from Zero Gaming, something that they have a specific comp they want to play, and they want to reduce the options for SG Momentum.
Yeah, and you know, just to not drag things out, because obviously we can see the draft. I think we're just gonna go through the drafts just in whole in general, and just like that. I think that is the best option, because it's. I remember last time it got pretty long discussion over one singular pick.
A little bit. Well,
Yeah.
I'm happy to take Zero Gaming if you want to take SG Momentum.
I can take. Yeah, sure. I can take SG Momentum, and you can take Zero Gaming.
Alright, so famous bot lane, Lucian Nami, huge explosive power for that early to mid game, reasonable scaling into the late game, but does fall off a little bit. I'm very interested to see how they're going to utilize this explosive bot lane. Again with the Poppy, even though Aurelia was banned, they still went for Poppy, so I'm guessing it's a comfort pick. It's something that they liked. I'm not saying it didn't work, it certainly shut down a few of the champions that SG Momentum were trying to do, but in the later stages of the game, it was just getting kited out. It just wasn't able to pull off exactly what it needed to, so definitely a comfort pick. if they're happy with it, they're happy with it. I don't think it's the best pick in this situation, but fair enough. And then moving on to the second half, Akali Zac. So there's your AP threats. Not a huge amount of damage, only with the 2 damage carries for Zero Gaming, but I certainly think that they could make it work. Looking for those explosive Zac picks in the jungle, because what I'm gonna say, as a jungler, the on our team you play Zac a lot. It's very good at making those early picks. So I want to see a big bot lane focus from Zero Gaming this game, because I think that's how they're going to scale out into the late game. Stop SGM before they even get to any stage of the late game with their extreme hyperscaling, and just win in that mid game.
So, obviously, on the side of SG Momentum, you do have to play towards the scaling. Obviously, Kale doesn't really quite get online until level 11 to 16. And Ezreal, you know, famous scaling champion. The only early game presence you kind of have is in the Trundle and the Graves, which, you know, Trundle has been a very strong pick in the past, now has kind of died off ever since the Divine Sunderer nerfs, and kind of how more bursty type junglers are more now in favor in the meta. You know, like the Graves, like the Kiana, like the Talon. You know, like all of those junglers. And you do have the strong bot lane of Ezreal Braum. Obviously, Ezreal's Q, for many people who don't know, can actually proc Braum passive, because Q does count as an auto attack. In some cases it does, some cases it doesn't. It's a pretty weird interaction with that Ezreal Q. And you know, Graves, you know, we saw last game, Graves was so huge last game.
Yeah,
But it does seem like it's gonna be a Graves top this time, which probably is why they picked Poppy against it. Maybe just trying to shut the Graves down. However, it can still be a Trundle top. You know, Trundle very famously very good into tanks. But if you're SG Momentum, you kind of just have to play towards the scaling and hope that your Graves can give you some small micro leads in certain parts of the map to kind of delay the game. And you have to delay the game through the dragons. You can't let Zero Gaming just get too many dragons, because otherwise you're going to get steamrolled.
Yeah, absolutely. So, sort of final thoughts. I think Zero Gaming, they need to focus their bot lane, and I think Akali needs to one-shot the carries. That's Akali's job, right? She's an assassin through and through. She has to kill at least one of the hyperscaling champions in these team fights, or I don't think Zero Gaming have a chance to win. But I think in that mid game is exactly where Zero Gaming need to strike and win.
And yeah, so that's the draft, and we are gonna shortly get into our second game of the day between Zero Gaming and SG Momentum. We're just gonna go to the game here, and we're gonna fix up the overlay in real time. There we go. And where is the game 2? There it is. So yeah, just a bit of wait. And before the game starts, like, who do you think's gonna take the cake?
As much as I like Zero Gaming's ability to go for the mid game here, I think I think they can pull it off. From what I saw in the last game, they were able to take those decisive plays. I think Zero Gaming can play off of this mid lane spike.
And yeah, but then just to be different, you know, I'm gonna go with Zero Gaming on this one. I think it's you have the strong lane, obviously in the bot lane, and you still have the Akali who scales, you know, incredibly well. And if Lucian goes for the Kraken Slayer, you still have pretty decent scaling on the Lucian. And yeah, but I think this is just gonna be an early game steamroll for Zero Gaming. I have a hard time seeing. As we actually do have the Graves mid. You would assume it would be Xandar with his famous Kale.
Famous KO. Well, he's got a reputation now. He's you know, we've seen a lot of talk in the Discord, so he's got a fair few bits to live up to. So we're gonna see how he plays out this KO lane, going for the D Blade first start. I'm not a KO player. I don't know if that's what you go, but I think in terms of survivability, you know, Kale's not going to be hitting you much, so I think that's a reasonable item to start with. But I like the Graves mid. I think you play Graves mid to just shove out waves, right? You just keep your enemy pushed in, so they have to just shove you back. I like the pick here because I think it helps negate a lot of what Akali wants to be doing is trying to get those roams. We did actually see the TP from both top and mid. I think that's absolutely fine. What I'd expect to try and make those plays happen early on, and utilize those TPs to secure the advantages. Up in the top lane, Puppey, I think level 1 to 6, even though it's melee versus melee, Poppy I think has to play as much of that advantage as possible. But also got to avoid getting kited out. Now I do want to keep an eye on this bot lane at level 2 because Lucian Nami, when you get those Nami bubbles, when you get those Lucian dashes at the same time, it's a huge amount of damage and an insanely scary thing to dominate at the same time. Well, yes. Here's Graves doing Graves things. Already Akali at tower, Zixer just having to take what he can. Level 2 spike from the Lucian, gonna dash in, but not gonna be able to do anything too substantial with that.
And I know a lot of low elo people are gonna question why is Nami going electric lane? Yeah, assassin, lol. Well, it's for the early game burst, Lucian doing a lot of early game damage, especially with those empowered autos from Nami, and pairing that up with the electrocute is just too much burst for most bot lanes to handle.
Absolutely, it's a kill lane.
Yeah, and you just saw you saw the electrocute doing work. It can proc off the electrocute procs off your empowered auto attack. So if you're Lucian, who can auto dash, auto, it's easy electrocute procs.
It's a really quick proc to try and just get it, and yeah, this is the proficiency of Lucian Army, is that insane early game damage. And well, as we can see, they've got them to tower, but look at the huge wave in the bot lane. Ezreal is actually equal, and hopefully by the end of it going to be up in CS despite this huge push. So I think that might just be Dorothy just missing quite a few of the CS, which from when you're playing this lane in an aggressive standpoint, you can't be doing that. You need to secure every advantage where possible. That's not
has been popping in the bot lane, still gonna go for the gank. Has the pillar going out of illusion, but yeah, not gonna do it. Not gonna do a lot there.
Bot lane too far pushed up for them to try and get anything off of it, and there is always the potential that Torki and Ryu just turn it and just kill the Trundle before there's anything to do.
Well, while that was happening, we actually do see invade from the sack on top lane, and Trundle still not really looking to go top, still wants to get his bot lane ahead and just moving for the dragon, that is going to be spawning in about 30 seconds.
So playing to that bot side, trying to just, I think, negate some of the power, or mainly just to try and counter out. Dive in the top lane.
Zach going in with the slingshot, actually misses, and yeah, Kale's gonna survive that.
Yeah, it's a
pretty sloppy work, but it seems like they're gonna secure the Drake then.
We're gonna have to see how they do answer this from the side of Momentum now that they've got the bot prio. They're pushing out, the waves bouncing back. They're gonna have that first look on Dragon, and it looks like Trundle's gonna be going for it.
Yeah. That is pretty good, capitalizing of the misplay from both the Zac and the Poppy.
Yeah, it's that crossplay that we want to see, right? I want to see these teams try and make things work when things are happening on the other side of the map. It's such a crucial skill to try and get in there.
Trying to prove that he might be trying to be the best Trundle in the league, but sadly that spot's occupied by me.
So you've got some Trundle expertise then. What are you hoping to see from the Trundle in terms of build, playstyle? What's the Trundle objective this game?
If you're Trundle here, you're basically just looking to drop your ultimate on either Poppy or Zac, the one who's gonna be the most problem, and you're gonna be trying to use your pillar just to shut down the mobility. Trying to shut down the Lucian, trying to shut down the Akali, just so they cannot move. Because Trundle pillar, before the nerfs, was considered by many the most OP ability in the game. It's basically a stun, and it's basically a stun with a wall.
It's pretty solid. It is a.
Oh, as we do see actually a trade from Riverick on Brustas.
Here we go. We have part 1 of Kale being online. The initial level 6 going to get access to that range. much safer to just farm in lane now and really help you get into
They're
that
training in
skin.
the bot lane. Braum passive is stacking up. Dash is away before that can be any issues.
And there you go. See, that's the power of Braum Shield, that unbreakable, right? Just completely absorbing all of the
like
damage.
dashing in, misses everything, man. Sanders not gonna die this time.
Just gonna dash out, and yeah, it is unfortunately not Xandar's on the Kale that I think we all would have.
Oh, actually, Trundle with the kill speed up. Oh, but Poppy, really nice ultimate to shove them away. Oh, they're still gonna go for the dive. Trundle still has the killer. Just gonna set the run away. Really good from Rivery on the Poppy. It shows that he probably has played this Poppy a lot.
Certainly, having taken it last game as well as this game, it definitely looks to be a comfort pick for Riverick, and he does show his proficiency right there, showing us he knows what he's doing. Going the Divine Sunderer, which I think is not too bad this game. It's tanky. It's a solid mythic. Not opting for the full tank.
In the
mid lane.
I think Apollo still has ultimate, but I'm not gonna pull the issue. Actually, Riverick, one more auto for the kill to die. They both still have flash. I think that is gonna be a first blood for Riverick. Solo kill in the top lane, and you just love to see it.
You do, but Razataz, he chooses to flash instead of the Kale ultimate, and so Riverick just responds and catches up and secures the solo bolo. But yeah, bit of an interesting one. Riverick not respecting. Bit of backing for a thing up in the top lane. Not trying to wanting to commit
has
to
to be a bit
dive.
careful because Zac is still in the top side. Well, no, nothing seems to be happening, but yeah, it's still really unfortunate for Rusitas.
Now, Ezreal picked up the tier so he can start his scaling. Once he's got that initial item, all he needs to do is just sit and Q farm. So at this point, he's not in a horrible position, and fortunately, bot lane not been able to pick up any kills. Zac not had any successful goes down to the bot lane, and Akali has been perma pushed in, so has not been able to get out of lane because of this proficiency of the Graves. And I don't know, I think this, I think Chappie needs to be playing such a proactive champion that is Zac, with such creative gank angles. You know, he can get over so many walls and around so much vision. Just not really seeing that other than just farming. And sure, he's keeping up with Trundle, but there is going to be a point where Trundle does start just out farming.
But the thing is, like, on both of these types of angles, strike that, they're actually gonna look to get on top of Chucky here. But I think he is going to get out. Has the Nami, has the Lucian. Oh, this is actually looking to the effect. Double knockup. Oh, but the blast code just saves them in the end. And Zac has to go into his passive. But his 6 are actually gonna keep going on forward. Uses the ultimate to get on top of Trundle. Here comes the calling, trying to go on Trundle. And running into Trundle is actually gonna die. There's no flash. And that's a kill for Toriki. And that's the early game.
Great turnaround from the side of from the side of Zero Gaming there to just secure the 1-0 for now the first kill for the Lucian, get him on the board and get him starting to snowball. But if you look at the top side, it's a bit of a different story. You know, you've got Rositaz now, even though having succumbed that first blood, got the Berserker Greaves, now pushing in the Poppy into tower. 10 CS advantage, and that's that level 6 range just starts bullying down.
Actually, I don't see a gank in the bot lane. Not gonna be successful. Sanders still like this Zac, man. He's tried to get ganks off at all places of the map, just failing. Still has not tried to show a bot lane. But with the bot lane prior, I think they are gonna look for the second drag of the game. Oh, actually, land a bubble on top of SGM, but the unbreakable, she's just gonna save him.
Just these Ezreal really holding out well in this lane. Got Machine and landing enough of them to not only keep the lane in a favourable position, but also just to reduce that power that Lucian could have. To just
do see that Nami healing in the lane.
It's pretty nasty. It's one of the benefits of the champion, right? It's like so much damage and sustain at the same time. It's what makes him such a favourable combination.
I can't remember if Nami was banned last game, but honestly, if Nami was there last game, you know, Nami, your empowered auto attacks also works on abilities, which is why you saw some people going like Nami Cassiopeia back in like 2019, 2020. And with Ezreal, you know, having a slow on your Qs, wait, strike that, they are gonna look for a trade in the bot lane. Arcane shifts forward, Lucian not gonna be able to... Ooh,
two-shot barrage.
The
Just gonna
two-shot
go
barrage.
wide.
Oh, wait. Oh, but Turek flashes forward! And he trades 1-for-1. But honestly, I would take that any day. Wait, drag that Sandars with the TP. Nami ultimate. Cancels the dash. Wait, here is Zac. Look for the double
They picked up the dragon.
Oh.
All in the meantime, while this play was happening in the bot lane, just Zero Gaming gonna secure the dragon. So it's 1-for-1 on dragon, and it's a mountain dragon. So while it's only one, it's getting that tankiness when you have Zac, when you have Poppy, that extra 5-7% worth of armor and worth of stats does start to mount up eventually.
And
okay, 6 gonna have recall on a ward.
but I just wanna say, Toriki, respect to you, man. Just flashing forward, just getting the execute onto Ben 2. And he might have died, but he gave the kill to Braum, which just makes it extra worth.
Yeah, and the wave was on the tower.
Yep.
So gonna be a worthy pickup in the meantime, and getting the TP from Xandars as well. So he is now just gonna be resorting back to that mid lane push, and the Akali with the Rift Maker now got that mythic, just able to keep up even in CS. And in the top lane though, we do see that Kayle starting to secure more of the CS advantage.
Lucian has the Nami behind her, gonna survive. Are they actually trying to turn it back around? Oh, Ezreal is stunned by the bubble. Oh, but the Braum stun. Oh, but all the damage coming out from Toriki! Double kill!
And there's the Lucy and Nami power. Once the Braum shield falls, they are just two vulnerable laners to this insane combination. And the Gale Force immediately completed out for that Lucian. That's what I want to see. Needs that mid-game power. And that's exactly what he's going.
And you know, I was talking about the early game steamroll. How much steamrolling can you get, man? Lucian dashing 1v2 on both towers, just getting the double kill, man. Obviously with the Nami behind her, but still. Oh, as Zac is looking for a kill on for Kayle, but Kayle has to flash away.
Good flash out by Rune's there, just to respect the power that could have come out, and they'll take the Herald charge, they'll get the gold, and then they'll just happily walk away
and,
with,
you know,
with what they've secured.
Even after all of this, the gold lead is still only 800 gold, and I think that 800 gold probably, I mean, probably the small lead is probably because if you look at the top lane, that's a pretty hefty CS lead for the Kayle.
Yeah, it's 20 CS up in Kayle, 10 CS up in jungle, evens, you know, mid is even, you're a little bit behind in the bot lane.
Sandars. You know, Akali now has the Rift Maker, which is a pretty big power spike for Akali.
Absolutely huge, as we can see there, pretty much halving HP without even using ultimate of the Xandar. Is definitely a threat at the moment. But she's just not able to get out of lane. You know, they're 0-0.
In the bot lane, you see the bot lane just sitting. You need a ruler to measure that out, man. Like, they don't want to fight this Lucian, man.
Yeah, it's too risky to walk up, so just having Ezreal poke with Qs is
they are actually gonna
look for a lane
gank here. Kung Fu, Riverick is gonna look for a pick of the Rufus, but I think they are just gonna walk it out. Lucian is trying to go for the trade, but is that a bait? Kung Fu coming in with the Trundle, still has the pillar, has to flash for it, but the pillar comes short. Oh, Lucian is getting low. Here comes the true shot barrage, it snipes it, but actually the kill is gonna get picked up by Kung Fu. And that is a consolation prize. I think that is how you say it.
Lucian stepped up, and the Trundle was there ready and waiting for the response, and fair play to Kung Fu, he waited it out, and that's the reward that he got. Picked himself a nice.
And now you see Kayle being level 11, the chapter 2 of the powerful Kayle.
Yep, she is getting there. She's got the one item already.
High CS in the game. Slingshot, but misses again. Like this Zac is not having a good time.
He just went in alone. Like, Nami was there, sure, but they're not going to be able to make anything happen. Akali finally gets one window to roam, and then Zac goes in too early. They're just not able to get anything off of it. So back to the mid snooze fest.
But yeah, when you see the gold lead now shifted slightly in SG Momentum's favor, but probably that is just for the top lane, not really for any other lane.
Pretty much, yeah. This is exactly what they want there, right? Like, they want Poppy to be in a sleeper lane. They want Lucy and Nami to be explosive.
See the first tower not the first tower, but the first tower for Gaming.
No, gonna bot lane going to be here to respond, try and just de-push a little bit, because Lucian is by himself. Don't get me wrong, he's still an insane threat. He's picked up the Sheen now, so dealing even more damage, but Poppy going to be in trouble here.
Yeah, Poppy, no mana. Okay. River still has flash, though, has to flash away, and that is dangerous. I don't know what he was thinking when he did that.
I mean, Kayle is one of the downsides of when you push with Kayle is that your tower is down, so you're going to be pushed up forward in a vulnerable position, but unfortunately Zero Gaming aren't really capitalizing this. Unfortunately, Chucky, the Zac, is just not his game today.
With the prio mid, with the prio bot, just gonna look for the Infernal Drake here, and I think they're gonna secure it. Kung Fu being miles away from this objective, and that is a pretty big objective.
Yeah, with this bot lane prowess, I can see why they are giving in. They're just respecting the power and the damage that the bot lane could have.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Honestly, if Jarvan still was up, I wouldn't mind seeing a Jarvan here instead of that Zac, because Jarvan's E, you know, you can still stack up Lucia's passive with your flag.
Yeah, it gives a one stack of it, and even then it just makes for a more successful gang, right? Because you have that point and click CC of the ultimate, right? The Cataclysm, just put them in a box, and
but against
you know,
Ezreal can just E away from it and just take no damage from it. So.
Yeah, you've got the Ezreal, you've got the Graves dash, and
but then again, he can just E away from Zac's entire body. So I don't really know. Can't remember if the Jarvan was banned or not. But as we do see, is there gonna be a fight around the Rift Herald? They have moved up there before. And it is looking to be a 3v3. Actually, we have Zixer going for a roam on the Kayle. Is Kayle Lucifer 2v1 this? Probably not. Has to blow the ultimate early. Akali, you know, still has the ultimate, and that is a kill for River. Has to actually use the ultimate for it. Interesting. TP coming in from Zixer. It's a fight by 50-50. Who is gonna take it? Kung Fu, or it's actually gonna get picked up by Chucky, and I think it's just gonna be a run away from it. Turn it back around onto Zac, but the bubble just saves him in the end, and I think that's just gonna be a walkout. But the pillar just disrupts everything. But the 3-man bubble probably saved the rest of the team. Nomi maybe has to sacrifice his life. Actually, no, Zac. There he goes down in the end. Very nice flash from Flate today.
He didn't even need to flash, he just threw out the Braum shield, the Q, and just picked up the kill off of the back of that. So it's a 2 for 0 for the side of SG Momentum, but they do lose the Rift. Did they pick up the Rift Herald?
Yeah, they did pick up the Rift.
Zero Gaming do secure the Rift Herald, and they've got it in the inventory in Zac there. So interesting to see how they try and use that. I think the key here is you've got to try and free up the Akali, right? We saw in that fight just how much damage she can do, and in the end didn't even die, and has now picked up a stopwatch to secure in future team fights to make sure that she's able to get off the perfect execution both sides. She can survive throughout that.
Oh, Graves.
Xandar's a little bit caught out here.
Is that gonna be a blast to his death? Oh, the ward! That's nice Zac mechanics. Oh, but the shield bow is actually gonna save him. Oh, but the shuriken just hit Xandar's, and Xandar's. Get ready for some messages on Discord, my man.
Not gonna get caught out in the jungle there. Not quite sure what he's doing that
blast
by himself.
Blast cone of death.
Yeah, fair play to Zixer with the Akali mechanics though. And
Chucky
did questionably dash away.
Chucky gets the ward. Yeah. But, very nice. Very interesting from Xandar. But whatever, but I have to give props to Kung Fu, man, you know? Using that pillar in the last fight to just kind of disrupt everything and get the kills needed.
That was the reason why they were able to turn it with that pillar.
And that is
game-changing plays.
That is peak Trundle mechanics.
It is. He's got a few mechanics. One of them being pillar.
You have one mechanic.
You need to know who to press your ultimate on. You know which tanky champion do you beat up. But no, that was really good.
And then again, does it matter?
So, because you know, if you've got Zac is going to be in the back line of these fights. His whole point is to jump in the back and just disrupt, yank people left, right, and center, and displace. I think the sooner you get him out of the team fight, You know, get him in that passive form just so you can melt him down. He's not a problem. And I think if this were me, I would be asking the Trundle to ult with Zac most of the time because.
But then again, Zac, you know, has the passive, you know, still can come back to life after. Maybe look to put it on the Poppy just to secure that guaranteed kill. But who knows? It honestly, I don't think it really matters who Trundle ults. As long as the Lucian dies, there's not really gonna be.
Yeah, it's fairly obvious which two targets the Trundle's going to be aiming that Subjugate for, but we'll see how they choose to play out these fights, because most of from the looks of it now, it seems that
is spawning in 20 seconds. We are going to see a fight around that. You know, SG Momentum having both Xandars and Kung Fu joining the rest of his team, trying to secure that Inferno Dragon.
Yeah, I think they're just committing to the Kale side lane at this point, right? 200 CS now, 50 ahead of her lane opponent. She's just a farming machine. Two items.
Gets spotted out. He's gonna be able to walk it out though. Oh, and we do see the dragon start from.
It's gonna be a very
gaming. We have Sixer on the flank, on top of Xandar. Xandar is kind of walk back to his team. Oh, but he gets knocked away by Ribrick. That is beautiful. And then we have Sixer almost getting killed. Xandar, the stopwatch coming into play now, but is gonna get taken out by Kung Fu. And you know, consolation prize, I guess, for SG Momentum getting that kill on Zixer, burning the stopwatch, that was actually a Zhonya's Hourglass. My bad.
I respect Zigzag going in there to try and get that first kill off of the Xandar, who didn't even look like he knew he was being attacked.
And from that kill, we actually do see SG Momentum trying to move up to secure the Baron. And
what is it with SG Momentum getting Barons versus Zero Gaming? They really shouldn't be. Both games now.
And they are, and actually Zero Gaming is actually looking for the steal. Zac, you know, can just slingshot in. Oh, gets really low, but that's just a bit too late. With the cooling, actually trying to melt through Xandar's HP bar. But yeah, it's just not gonna happen, isn't it?
They're just gonna safely secure that Baron for free, pretty much. They're not gonna lose anyone. They don't have to commit any large summoner spells, so that's just a free reset and recall for the side of SG Momentum. Now with the Baron, again, are they going to succumb to the pitfalls where they fell to last time, where they're just not able to get anything off of their Barons? More so just stopping the enemy team from getting them, or are they actually going to try and utilize it this time?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, there's no objectives run on map. Actually, Sixer maybe looking for the assassination on top of Xandar. Xandar's just trying to get the frogman. Oh, flash over for Shuriken hits, actually hits, but the shield bow is actually gonna save him. Has to ult away for the dash away. But here comes Lucian, finishes off Xandar. Unlucky, man.
Force comes in and they just fully sending everything on Xandar. It feels like it might be a little bit personal, you know, I think Xandar's reputation might be biting him in the side a little bit here, but who knows? That's just a theory.
But honestly, no vision on Akali. You know, that is just very unlucky for Xandar's. I have to feel with him for that one. But Zixer, he's a Akali mechanics, man. I'm impressed.
It's very good, but I think I can see part of where SG Momentum's problems are. Look at the vision scores. You know, you've got mid lane, you've got Xandar sitting on 10, you've got Ezreal on 10, Trundle with 15, Kale 19, and Braum, good, he's got a huge amount with 48, but it just doesn't seem like they're placing or buying enough wards or control wards. On the flip side, you look at SG Momentum, it's not much better, but it is better nonetheless. You know, you've got 25, 20, 15, 13, 18, you know, these higher numbers that are buying more wards. You can see control wards in their inventory. On the other side, where you can't see any from the side of SG Momentum.
Yeah, and but honestly, this might be completely unrelated, but Sixer, that sounds like an Akali player.
True. It sounds sounds true to his name. I like it does seem to match up, and he is making these plays. He's going for these large assassination attempts, and he seems to know the damage to know that he's able to kill that Graves with a full commit.
Yeah. Oh, okay, chasing down the Poppy, but is he actually going to get caught out? Nani and Zac looking for the here comes the slingshot. On top of Kale, has to burn the ult early, maybe a bit too early. Oh, actually pumping out damage on the Poppy, but he's getting really low and is just gonna get taken out by Zac.
Yeah, Imperial Mandate from Nami is what you expect to see when paired with the Ignite, just providing ludicrous amounts of damage to ensure that going to be taken down. Ruskatao not going to be able to do. He did try to make those plays, but fairly obvious what his game plan is. He's on that side lane, sorry. He is level 15. He is one away from the final chapter of KO, the level 16, where champion KO truly emerges and starts to do ridiculous amounts of damage and to get that scaling, that hyper carry clips that you've undoubtedly seen.
But what? We actually do see the early Muramana from Ben too.
Instead of the Mythic. I have seen that a few times, and I do think it certainly has its place here at the moment. You know, he's looking to deal damage to that Akali, to that
the damage is just more consistent with the Divine Thunder, isn't it?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, obviously, if you're hitting the tankier champions, you're going to be getting more value off of it. But against those squishies, and he picks up the Sunderer anyway, so he's going to have it second shortly after.
Oh, but the dragon is spawning in 17 seconds. If Zero Gaming secures this, it's going to be soul point. But right now, SGM Momentum are the first one to arrive to a 2k gold lead. And you would imagine them winning out this fight with this much of control.
I would imagine so, and I would hope so. So we're gonna have to see how it goes.
My prediction, I wouldn't hope so. Oh, looking. Oh, Bronco hitting the Lucian, getting chunked out, and that's the Drake secure from SGM Momentum. Actually, Killer on top of the Nami has to flash away. Two versus 3 members, and he gets choked out. Oh, tries to flash up, but he gets ulted away by Riverick.
And there you go. That's gonna be the 5th dragon. Gonna go over to the side of SGM Momentum this time.
On the flank. Nah, just gonna push out, wait. Oh, 6er. Kali, Assassin, Mage. That is just a big, huge win for SG Momentum. Really giving that Kale more time to scale. 2 more dragons.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed to do. But they do seem to be pulling off the game plan of Kale finally hitting that level 6, or about to hit that level 16 on that side lane.
You can't ignore the Lucian, who actually decided to go for the plated steel caps.
I think it's interesting. I see it. You know, you need to survive this Graves, Trundle, Ezreal, right? These 3 AD. I mean, pretty much, I'd say Trundle is an AD threat, dealing huge amounts of damage with that Q, with the Chomp. And there it is, level 16 for Kale, the full evolution. Gonna immediately recall, probably pick up some more items, and we're gonna see how SG Momentum play around this hyper scaling pick that has hit one of his teams.
This is like when your Charmeleon evolves into a Charizard, you know?
Pretty much. It is the 3rd stage, the final evolution, if you will. It is ready to make some
bit of
moves
Pokemon
on
reference
Rift.
for the homies out there.
For the boys now.
Oh, as we do actually SG Momentum first on the Baron. Are they gonna start it up? It looks like they might just try to go for the bait. Trundle looking for the pillar on the Nami, can't commit to it because of the bubble.
And they just don't have vision on the rest of the team, so although they get Nami behind the pillar,
but Lucian going in on Ezreal. And they're just gonna get out. Oh, Trundle looking for the pillar, probably gonna look on top of Nami. Nami has to burn the ultimate, subjugate onto Nami. Oh, but they are gonna get out. Stealing this by the skin of the team. Sixer has to force the TP.
Again, just not having anything hard enough to really get those team fights started from the side of the SG Momentum team. You know, they've got the Trundle pillars.
This is just a dance right now. Like, no one looks to commit. Oh, actually, it's probably gonna get caught out. And that with the 5-man ultimate into the Poppy ultimate. Lucian free hitting in the backline. Gonna take down Kung Fu. Gonna take down Ben too. Akali with the Shuriken on the Braun. Braun has to flash away, but that just can't be enough. Zandra's actually getting killed. Kale, what can you do, man? You're 1v4. I don't think you can do much. And that's gonna be Baron for Zero Gaming.
Insane play by Chucky, redeeming himself from his somewhat lackluster early game. Absolutely insane. I don't know if you saw, but he had a Nami bubbles on him, so as soon as he jumped in and he unleashed that ultimate, all 5 members of SG Momentum had the passive from Imperial Mandate, right? They had that red banner ahead themselves, that death mark saying, you were gonna die. That was absolutely insane team fight from Chucky.
Yeah, and you know, we criticize this guy for not finding the early game ganks, but honestly, like that, you're
maybe Zach's a late game pick. I don't know, man.
The late
he's got me doubting.
The mid game Zach.
I don't know, man. He is turning the game on his head, and that was absolutely crucial for Zero Game to get back into that game because they were in that gold deficit. They're against these scaling champions, but this Baron is exactly what they need to put them back on that map, and already putting it to good use with the Poppy in the top lane, securing that T1.
Oh, no, he's gonna stealing the blue buff.
The donation. Give your supports blue buff, everyone.
Give your ego some Twitch subs.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to make sure your supports have blue buff sometimes.
Trio, most likely an ego. He played Brom. Ah, whatever.
Oh, who knows? But we'll see how they're going to try and push out this Baron advantage. Just going to be recalling. Wonder what Akali... picking up the Void Staff for Akali. So there is a few bits of MR from the side of SGM Momentum.
30 seconds. Next fight's going to happen around that objective. Yeah, both teams, 5v5. Although we have a push in the mid lane.
And they do have that
we have Lucian actually just gonna burn that tower down. They don't even care.
Yeah, it's not even their sole point for SG Momentum, so they don't mind giving it up.
They have to buy more time though.
I mean, they're just gonna go mid.
Yeah, they push down mid. Like these guys have to back off now.
Yeah, as Zero Gaming just say, hey, if you want Dragon, you can take it.
Hit the Brimstone on the Escher. Akali has to go in.
She's just
use the Zonias to buy time, and he actually gets to kill Ben 2 with him, and they are just burning down mid. And they actually get the kill of the Sandor. Sandor's just not enough. You think you're good, but you just can't take down 4 people. That's one guy, and they already actually. I know Thunder, Lucian actually free hitting in the backline, and the front line is just way too tanky, and I think that's gonna be the end. And that is just the late game fumble, and that is gonna secure game 3 in this best of 3.
Game 2.
They're securing a game 3.
Oh yeah, sorry. They secure indeed the game 3 from the comeback from Zero Gaming, and I honestly didn't expect that. I kind of thought they were going to lose. I saw them get the Baron as that. All right, I guess they're going to lose now once it runs out. But no, the insane team fight, just the decision like, hey, you can take the Dragon, we'll just go mid. Just the macro play from SG Momentum falling a little bit lackluster, and the Akali props to they're coming in and just stopping them all, actually getting a kill 1v3 at the same time, really showing that proficiency on the Akali there. And yeah, as you said, we're going to game 3, baby.
And I just have to talk about that one. Like, it's just that was just really beautiful. The bot lane coming out strong in the early game, just decimating the competition.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta give props to Zero Gaming. I think, it was the 30-minute mark. They were reaching the point where their comp loses its strength and SG Momentum reaches its pinnacle. But they managed to secure the advantages exactly where they needed them, what they needed them, and in that last macro decision, they pulled it out of the bag. And props to SG Momentum. They kept up, and there were definitely a chance that they had, but they made the wrong call and unfortunately had to suffer for it.
Okay, so here we do have the draft for game 3. So I think I like what we did for game 2. I think we can just do that again. Just going through the bans real quick. Oh, yeah, same bans, same 3 bans as last time.
Yeah, from both teams actually.
There, but we do see the Poppy ban for taking that away from Riverick. Riverick just being a really good Poppy player today.
So what I find interesting here, just before the extra draft, is SG Momentum actually opting to go for red side. Despite having lost the second game where you losers pick side, they actually choose red side as opposed to that first pick priority, even banning out the Aurelia that they won on first time. So it's an interesting choice. Obviously each team to their but I do feel like that first pick has such an insane strength to it that it makes me wonder why they didn't pick it. But you can choose your team draft that you want this time, as I did choose the last time.
Oof. And you see similar draft from Zero Gaming. Lucian, Nami, super strong bot lane. You saw them popping off last game. Zac, having that amazing 5-man ultimate. But instead of the Poppy, they instead going for the Dr. Mundo, probably looking just to equalize the top lane matchup. But honestly, I have mixed feelings about Dr. Mundo. I think he is a decent pick in the 1v1 lane matchup, but in the 5v5, I just don't see Mundos really doing anything in their games. They just kind of walk around, and because everyone has healing reduction these days, you know, Dr. Mundo not really getting to utilize his insane amount of healing that he has in his kit.
Yeah, I definitely think this. I mean, they choose not to go for Poppy, probably because they thought Zac was going to be banned. So they go for the Mundo. Obviously, Poppy getting banned out, which I think was a good choice from the side of SG Momentum. And they similarly go with the first pick Graves again. They're very happy with it. They think it seems to work. It's got that flex potential as well. Very much a favored pick for SG Momentum. So any teams going against them, maybe look at banning Graves. And moving further down, we have the bot lane. We finally get to see them on their own champion Flay today on the Thresh. That's what we like to see. You know, his name is based off of the champion he's about to playing. Philios Thresh. I feel like we're watching a Worlds game at the moment. That's very much a secure, safe bot lane. It's got potential to roam. It's got potential to just say and decimate a decent contender against the Lucian Nami, but it does also run the risk of, against that explosive power of Lucian Nami, you can full falter, and just once you're behind, you're a bit stuffed. Xin Zhao, crazy jungler at the moment, really strong, great against those range picks, so he can just, you know, fire out that challenge to keep Zac, Mundo, and Akali, well, maybe not Mundo when he's got his passive up, but just to keep Zac and Akali away. I think actually it's a really solid pick here. And Anivia, I think it's a solid pick.
I love the Anivia pick here. You know,
is really good. It's just, you know, for those team fights and for that wave clear more specifically, it stops any sieging happening from Zero Gaming, and it just means that it's similar to the Graves, right? You just push waves all the time once you hit level 6, and then you can do what you want with it. It's a good pick to try and shut the Akali down. But Tell me, what's your prediction here,
I think,
Arvid? What
honestly,
team do you think is taking it?
Honestly, you know, I think SG Momentum, their bot lane probably learned from facing this Lucian army that you just you have to respect it. So I think they're not gonna get a Lucian army, probably not gonna get a big lead unless they get a gank from Zac, which didn't happen last game. And I think Aphelios Thresh, you know, scales really well. They still have the early game from Graves and Xin Zhao to kind of help them, and they have the Anivia, who's just gonna be really annoying. You know, they have very close range. They have no range on Zero Gaming. The Anivia ultimate is gonna be painful to deal with unless they know how. I'm gonna go with SG Momentum on this one.
All right, well, I don't know. I feel a bond with Zero Gaming. They're a fellow Lucian Nami bot lane player. They're a fellow Zac player. I'm a Zac believer. The slime boy. He's gonna come in. He's gonna do his stuff. I think Zero Gaming are gonna take the third game after having taken that second one.
Whoever takes this game, it's gonna be a banger. These two games have been real bangers. But also, just to add before we get to the game, the Xin Zhao ultimate, you know, the calling is gonna do little to no damage on the Xin Zhao when he procs that Demacian stance. And the Dr. Mundo, I just have trouble seeing that being all that useful here. But yeah, we'll see what happens when we get in game. A lot of things can happen.
All right, I am just going to take 2 minutes, grab myself some water because this game got me thirsty.
I think we're gonna take a 2-minute break before we start.
I think so.
Before
Sounds
we start
good.
The game. So yeah, we'll see you in approximately
See you on the
2
Rift.
minutes.
Let's hit it.
Alright, welcome back after that 2-minute break, after getting some refreshments.
I am
We are ready
refreshed
to
and
get into game 3.
ready. The hype fest that is Zero Gaming versus SG Momentum to take the third hand final game.
Yeah, and as a reminder for people who are just turning in, this is game 3 of the game between SG Momentum and Zero Gaming.
Indeed. Now, not seen. We did see the level 1 in the first game. Not much in the second one, but I'm going to be interested to see if you've got a Fresh, you've got an Anivia, you've got Zinzao, these pretty early proficient champions. I do want to see if either side utilizes that level 1 pressure.
Yeah, we do see. 5-man
Yes,
invade.
the 5-stack. Classic
Bot lane
SG
just
Momentum.
trying to do the same from like actually doing what Zero Gaming did game 1, but they are gonna get spotted up by that ward. But they keep going till they don't spot the ward.
Okay, so they've
And
been
now we
spotted
do
out
see
and
Chucky
Zach going
answering
up.
with the ward in the top lane.
Just gonna go for the ward. Not gonna go for anything deeper, but
Oh, and they get spotted by another ward, man. They have no idea.
see this is why some people argue that you would go sweeper on one of the champions first, but it does also come with it.
They have
And they
sweeper,
do.
they
Zinzao
have-
actually does have a sweeper. Okay, interesting.
Kung Fu doesn't use it,
I guess they don't want to risk getting nothing off of it.
but like, come on.
Gotta secure that XP advantage, you know, it does actually help to be that one.
They just they get spotted by another ward in the top side,
Oh, he does ward it out. Okay, he's gonna get the XP.
but it's a bit too late.
Yeah. Let's happen. So, jungler is gonna be starting on their same side, so gonna meet at the Scuttle Crab. See if we're gonna see a little brawl in the river. Gonna be interested to see if the mid laners acknowledge that and seeing if they're gonna be able to try and get something off.
I'm
of
trying
the
to
back
figure out
of
who's gonna win that fight. I think if the bot lane shows
gonna be
up, I think it's gonna be. No, I think if the bot lane shows up, I think it's gonna be a win for Zero Gaming.
Oh yeah. If the Lucian Nami, the straight powerhouse is them at level 2 and 3, then it's gonna be a win for them. But let's see if they're gonna realize that that's gonna be the situation and try and put themselves in that advantage. But it seems that Zach might be going for the full clear, gone for the Grump second. So Zinzao.
Oh, as we see the level 2 trading, just like in game 2, being as pressuring as ever. Now you don't have the healing from Soraka.
Yeah, you don't have that Soraka, you don't have anything to provide you that little bit extra sustain, so they are gonna struggle a bit for this second game. Now, with the Thresh starting
In the
play
top lane,
first,
yeah,
arguably what
we
you're
have
supposed to do.
Rusutas just abusing this Dr. Mundo in top lane. You know, I did say that Dr. Mundo, usually when you pick it, is supposed to just kind of equalize the 1v1 lane to make sure the carry champions can't carry, but Graves is not your average carry top laner.
No, he's gonna shove you under tower, he's gonna bully you under tower.
He's gonna
and you're
one-shot
gonna
you
have to
level,
take it.
level
Yeah.
1.
Pretty much. So Mundo certainly gonna have to find some way to deal with it, whether that's through the Chucky on the Zac that he ganks or something else.
And I am
because we've got the crab spawning up. First move by SG Momentum, but they are pushed up in the bot lane, so we're gonna see if Zero Gaming are able to read the play and respond.
nah,
No.
they are just gonna give it up.
Too
Okay,
late and
but just I wanna mention this while we're on game 3. I've been casting this game a bit sick, as you can maybe hear from my stuffy voice, but I do anything for the cast.
yeah, respect the grind. You gotta put your illness behind you for the
Let's see.
as football fans would say, the beautiful game.
Bit of a cold. Whatever.
There's fun.
Let's talk about this game and not about my stuffy nose. As we do see a huge trade from the Graves on the top lane. Oh, if that Q hits, I have sure hope he would flash forward for the kill there. And we actually do have Kung Fu showing up. Is it gonna be the level 4 dive? Probably gonna happen. Let's just get the.
Is healing so much of one potion and his passive. Oh, it's a dive. He does still have the passive.
Zinzao preps,
not
the
gonna
wind
get
becomes
the
light. Oh, he's gonna prep the wind becomes light. Oh, no, okay, okay, oh, gets the win because fighting, but doesn't wanna. They don't want
just-
to. They. Well,
Okay.
like
Customs
they-
just for SG momentum. I just don't think they trusted their damage to be able to secure it and get out without any deaths.
Kung Fu
even
mental
though they
boomed after game 2.
flush. Yeah, I think as a trying to play it safe after last game, but I think a little bit too safe though. You had your advantage and you lost it.
I mean, like it. Yeah. You just get your Graves would your Graves would love to have a early game lead. Whatever. Nothing happened in the end. It's just kind of a loss for SG momentum, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose on the flip side, Zero Gaming don't get anything off of the back of that. Trundle just gonna go back to farming his jungle, not
Trundle?
ganks. Sorry, Zach just gonna go back to farming. He's gonna be behind on CS that little bit.
But
so.
the mountain dragon has spawned, and one camp on either side of the jungle around the bot side river. It's probably gonna be a brawl for this mountain
both
drake.
in
But
tandem,
Riverick, both top laners have TP, but Riverick is very low. He has to back like he has now, just so he can have the full health for the TP.
You mentioned they're both level 5, so less so for Graves, but more of an issue for Mundo, as he's just going to be walking around, not doing a whole lot. But yeah, we see the bot lane, the Lucian army pushing that out, so it does seem to be that either they're going to reset here, or they're going to be going for the dragon.
Yeah,
but Helios
Oh,
does
Zac!
have to wake
Oh,
up.
actually
Zac
hits
mid
the
lane.
slingshot this time. Actually gets the Q on the Anivia. Has to flash away. But that is
Oh!
almost gets put in Zac passive, but just barely managed to get out. But what I wanted to say before this is it's important for SG momentum to have the right guns on Aphelios, because right now you have the Infernum and Chakram, and there you go. There you have the good gun combo. Now they have the gun combo to be able to fight for this.
White, red,
As we do see Riverick popping the ultimate on, has a lot of healing. Oh, but misses the Q on the minion, and that is really close. But Graves has no mana. Oh, can they actually fight for this?
He doesn't even need it.
Oh, that is really good. And they are gonna secure. Are they gonna secure the mountain drake? Riverick
can
probably
zone him
can't
off this
TP
wave.
this. Because Nami is going to face check this,
Zac recalling. Yeah, Chucky just leaving. They don't.
and that is a huge objective for the side of SG momentum.
Yeah, I mean, much more so just denying it from the side of Zero Gaming with their Zac Mundo. Those two big beefy boys
And
that
they
would
are. No.
benefit greatly. Gonna rotate bot lane, but I'm not gonna be able to get anything off the back of that. So Kung Fu just gonna go sweeping for some vision. He doesn't have any wards of his own to put down, so he's not gonna be able to get any deep vision. But just to help with tracking and make sure they know where Chucky is and what he's doing, because he wasn't in that dragon. Now Razada's gonna use the TP top, so he's gonna get back into lane and
Oh,
not
we
lose
do
any
see a
of that.
gank in the mid lane, but has a TP from Riverick just to cover his mid laner. But that is the TP blown for Riverick.
Yeah, it's a TP for TP, and having that Rizadaz is in an advantage in CS at the moment, he is more than happy to take that. Just continue shoving this.
Yeah,
this
and
window into
after
tower.
this wave, we are gonna have a Toriki with a small CS lead over Ben 2 on the Aphelios.
Yeah, I would hope to see some form of advantage on the side of the Lucian army to get that explosive power. But similarly to last game, Zero Gaming really struggling to find anything on these early game plays. You know, it's 0-0, no kills on the board, and 300 gold for the side of SG Momentum just off of CS difference alone, which is just shows the proficiency of the players, of the matchups, and that seems to be their style. You know, they'll let the enemy team sort of kind of do what they want. They'll look for plays, but if they don't get anything, they're not so bothered by it.
The fact that Cleaver hits Graves, but not gonna pull the trigger on the one. But yeah, now things are slowing down after that Mountain Drake. It's still 0-0 in gold. No one really wants to pull the trigger. But honestly, the tempo is on Zero Gaming to pull the trigger for that early game, but
They've got those early game champions. They're the ones that need to start making these plays happen, and there's been a few attempts. But, you know, on the Herald, Kung Fu just going to solo Herald as well.
Yep.
Chucky just in the bot lane, just once again farming up, making sure he's getting all his clears in, which is brilliant. Obviously, he doesn't want to fall behind in CS, but off of the back of that, just nothing is happening for his laners, which is what he needs to be playing for. You know, look, you've got bot lane pushed up, and he's going topside. He's going to support
it's
the...
gonna be a fight for the Herald. Zin's out, moving up. to get the Akali. Akali has to use the ultimate. Oh, Xin Zhao uses the Demacian stance to actually push away Dr. Mundo. And here comes the mid laner. That's first blood for the Anivia on Xandars. Oh, Mundo. Short flash, and that's a double kill for Xandars. Or they're gonna be able to turn it around onto Chucky on the Zac. Oh, he's away, but that's a very short E. And here comes Xin Zhao. Here comes the Anivia wall. And that is heartbreak. 3 kills for SG Momentum. And that's a kill for Kung Fu. And they actually turn around in the bot lane. Flay today actually picks up the kill on Toriki. And that is just disaster in 15 seconds for Zero Gaming.
It's a 4-0 and a Herald for the benefit of side of SG Momentum. It is not what you want to see when you're running an early game comp to get completely dusted like that. It is a shame that Zero Gaming weren't able to read the play, get to the Herald sooner, and SG Momentum, they got there first, they responded in time.
And it's just so sad for Riverick. I don't know if anyone saw, but he tried to flash, but flashed right into the wall instead of over it.
Yeah, that was
Hate to
really
see it.
unfortunate for the time. And Thrash
Yeah,
Phantom just couldn't
there you
secure the
see the,
Achilles after
And
picking
yeah,
up
you
two
have this. I mean, if there's something to be slightly positive for Zero Gaming, is that Thresh was actually the one to pick up the kill, not the Aphelios, and you still have a huge lead in CS on the Lucian. So bit of
it is something. It is
something.
certainly keeping that Lucian ahead is where he needs to be in order to be as effective as you want him to be.
Yeah.
It's exactly where his strength lies. But the problem slowly coming over the frozen horizon for Zero Gaming is this Anivia on the side of SG Momentum. Picked up both kills.
Xin Zhao looking for a bot lane gank here. Almost one shot the Nami. Oh, has to use the Demacian stance to actually push away the damage from the Lucian.
You're not going to be able to get to the inside of the Xin Zhao ultimate to secure the damage he needed to kill it.
You know, Xandars, he is looking to redeem himself on this Anivia. 2-0 and 1, still even in CS with the Anivia. No, with the Akali, I mean.
He is absolutely going to be the focus of this game. I think how he plays is going to be key to SG Momentum's victory, if that is what they choose to go for. Playing through
Graves,
that
man,
mid
damage.
lane.
Even with the plated steel caps, you know. Graves
It's
putting up
just-
massive damage and already 2 plates, man. This top side of the map is falling apart right now.
It's clear that SG Momentum is very confident and happy with this Graves. You know,
Imagine
whether
if
it's
we would have
jungle or in the top
imagine
lane.
if they would have pulled the trigger on the dive at level 4. Oh wait, strike that actually Zac trying to go in for the kill, actually gets the Q on Graves. Graves getting really low, and these members are just way too tanky with Dr. Mundo ult. Are they actually gonna secure this kill? Are they gonna try to give it to Akali
They
or just
donate
Dr.
it.
Oh, and they actually give it to
they
Sixer, but in the
do.
bot lane they turn around with the Cloud Drake. That's something. That's something for Zero Gaming. You know, you get the kill on the Akali. Akali, very strong champion if she gets the ball rolling, but
Yeah, she is going to be the one that is going to have to assassinate this Xandar's on it. And here we go, we might see
Akali
it.
looking for the fight on Xandars, misses the chakram. I don't know how.
Ooh, that was not the best mechanical play coming out from the.
But
from the
that should have hit though. It feels like it went through the Anivia. Whatever.
Nice.
We do actually see trying to see an attempted bot lane gank here from the side of Zero Gaming. I mean SGM Momentum.
Yeah, SG Momentum, they're being the ones to make these trigger pulls on these early plays that are actually pulling them off. You know, they are the ones with 2 dragons. It almost feels like
Oh,
Chucky.
they're actually gonna go for the next. Then Kung Fu on top of Nami just completely one-shot her. Demosian stance pushes away Lucian away from the tower, and I think they're just gonna go for another dive. On top of Lucian, Ignite goes down, double kill for Kung Fu.
Xin Zhao, everyone. He just does so much damage, completely shredding up the Nami, and then when he's got all his cooldowns again, just goes back
Hits
in.
on Sixer going in, that's so much damage on Xandar. Xandar's gonna go into the egg form. Does Akali have enough damage to take Xandar out? Xandar has flash after this, and Zac comes in! And Xandar was like, he's spamming the flash key, trying to get away, but Zac comes in and bit's like, no!
Unofficial solo bolo. I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah, that counts as a solo bolo. That counts as a solo
I
bolo.
think so. I don't think that. I don't think Xander was just getting
Solo bolo
away.
in spirit.
Unfortunately, spiritual solo. I like that. Xander stepping up, not respecting the Akali 100.
Yeah, but and you know, it all looks great and fun, but then you look at the gold lead, 4.5k.
Yeah, it is looking rather cushy on the side of the SG Momentum team at the time
And it
being.
sucks even more when you realize that SG Momentum probably has a bit better scaling.
Yeah, I
With
would
the
agree with you
Anivia
here.
and
I think Zero Gaming, they're going for this early game to mid-game power play again, but look at the itemization from SG Momentum. We've got 2 shield bows and a Gore Drinker coming out from SG
yeah, that's gonna
Momentum
be
just
tough to cut down.
secure those carries' lives. Like, Akali is going to be the ones doing the majority of the killing in these team fights, right? She's got that insane damage, she's the main AP threat, she's the one you need to be concerned about, and SG Momentum identify that with 2 Merc Treads purchases, right? They are clear, we're going to get killed by
Yeah, and you
Akali.
see in the bot lane for Zero Gaming, actually it hasn't even finished a mythic yet. Oh, they are gonna go for a top lane dime strike then, and we'll talk about that later. As you are, the most heal stands, no Lucian away, and that's just bye-bye for Lucian actually. Oh, Moonlight Vigil goes down, takes him really low, has to flash for the kill. Ben2 gets the kill on Toriki. Toriki 0, 3 and 0. Oh,
Graves
back
TP as well.
Olivia, Graves TP. Oh, and that's a double stun from Xandar. Beautiful on Nami. Oh, and that is just heartbreak. And yeah, this game is falling apart for Zero Gaming.
It really is hard to watch because Zero Gaming, they really need this early game to mid go their way.
Oh, and they are just, they're relentless. Gonna go on top of the Doctor. Oh, but I think he's it's probably a bit too tanky with that ultimate. Actually, Zixer trying to get an assassination on the Thresh, but just gets so. Oh, that is. Oh, you hate to see it.
He dashed it. I think he sure.
And Akali flashes on top of. This is madness from Zixer right now. Usually very good. This Akali actually managed to dash away. Dashes back into their fellows. Actually gets the shutdown. 500 gold. Oh, Zinza. Oh, with the Gordon survives to get 1 kill. Dr. Mundo gets another shutdown. Graves. Oh, gets a kill onto Dr. Mundo. The hook goes wide, but the wall ended just a 1-shot. And that is
Just
consolation prize, but still SG Momentum getting these kills.
yeah, Zero Gaming, they're just not able to find those team fights where they want that ideal Zac Mundo at the front,
Yeah.
and Akali going into the back. They
This
just
is
can't
not the
get what
game
they
3.
want. This
Not
is
the game 3 people were looking for.
slowly looking a bit more doomed for the side of Zero.
I have.
Gaming.
I'm gonna do the famous LS thing. No way, Zero Gaming can come back from this.
What is Zero Gaming's way to get back into this game? What do you think they should?
Watch what Chucky did game 2. And I don't even know if that's enough, honestly.
Yeah, with Nami doesn't have a mythic yet. I think they would struggle with the follow-up damage for the time being. Yeah. We are slowly start to see those first items come
And,
out for
like,
momentum.
I don't know, man. These dragons are going down really quickly. Maybe Zero Gaming can have a miracle at Elder. I don't know. I just have a hard time seeing the win coming in from Zero Gaming.
Yeah, this is one of the criticisms I had of SG Momentum is that they weren't really doing
The drive-by. just
attempt-
taking a little check. Just checking.
An attempt was made. It was unsuccessful, but as I was saying, SG Momentum just really
And we have
capitalizing
pings
these early
on the Rift
advantages.
Herald. Really looking to just steamroll their way through this.
Pretty much, they know that
They have nothing else to do. So I guess just take the Herald. I guess.
Yeah, they've drafted a team comp for we want you to walk into us with the Zinzao deal, with the Thresh, with the Aphelios Graves, all these champions that are just saying, hey, you come to us, and we will then destroy you, which is exactly the comp that SGM are running. We will run into you, and it's a really mismatch. And Kali going with the early Banshees, definitely aimed at one specific champion. I wonder why Xandar's built that. Can only guess if it was...
Oh, but the stun hits on top of Nami and just gets taken down. Xandar's 4-1 and 4. He is really huge this game.
He is doing exactly what he needs to. He's being that AP threat. He's the only AP on his team, but
and that's actually good. Cause then
he's taking advantage of this itemization that Zero Gaming are going for with all these tabbies on the armor pen protection. They're just charging into the base. They're gonna get the second Herald charge.
I don't know if I like the Herald. If I don't like them taking. Oh wait, actually I do realize Baron is spawning up in 45 seconds. So if they just go straight on top of that, I think they can just do it. Honestly, they can just go straight on top of the Baron and just end this game.
They certainly could. I definitely think that would be a way Zero Gaming could
Yeah.
get back into the game.
No,
'cause
no,
that
I
would
think
be a really
that's what
risky
SG
play.
Momentum. I think yeah, SG Momentum should just do that. I think they just win. I don't see how Zero Gaming wins a team fight.
The only way I think it's possible is if the Baron, the debuff, you know, the MR and armor reduction, and that just gives them the damage that they are.
But then again, like you have the MR debuff, but Akali, you know, her AOE like damage just needs a bit time to charge up with the ultimate, you know. So it is fairly difficult, but.
Okay, Mundo blue buff.
Oh, he took
Mundo
the blue buff.
champion,
Says
famous
thank you for the
having mana
leash.
problems.
Playing the corporate Mundo skin, best skin in the game. So they might not win the game, but they're winning in skin.
Skin still wins.
Yeah, skin still wins. And you know, when you actually take in inhib, it is very important that you take inhib when it's the right time to do so. And you see, this was actually the right time to take the inhib, because there is a Baron, you can use that Baron to just push into the enemy base, but if there's no Baron, if there's nothing to do on the map, then just farm, then you're basically just giving the enemy free farm. There is not really anything to comment here, they are just gonna get the free Baron buff, no real steal attempt.
To contest. Zach is poised,
But I don't think they can. Thresh hook hits on top of the Nami, Zach is in there. Oh, and he's actually managed to steal it, but is it actually enough? His whole team is looking just crumble around him. Wait, actually they are just gonna try to run over. Oh, and the wall comes short, but you know that and that Baron steal, but can they do anything with that Baron? The super minions, and Zixer just probably can't take these super minions by herself. But you know, that is valiant effort. You know, they're hanging in there. They're trying to make SG Momentum sweat for this win.
Yeah, props to Chucky for stealing that Baron under those circumstances.
Insane
you got 4
player.
people on you. You're trying to focus on this one Baron health bar, and I think SG Momentum gonna take those 2 kills, push the advantage that they have, and here's that Anivia.
And they actually
2
Moonlight
work.
Vigil stun on Lucian, not gonna amount to anything. Could probably have led to a trigger being pulled. Colin trying to push away SG Momentum, which is gonna work. Oh, and we do see the Gale Force going forward. Oh, Lucian, what was that slash? And he goes down to Kung Fu. That is a big int. And here's Xin Zhao looking to just 3v1 everyone. Oh, but Sixer in the backline takes down Aphelios and puts Xandros in egg form. Has to go away, but is Sixer actually gonna go down here?
Zixer is trying so hard to
trying to
carry
run
these
away.
team fights here.
Running away, Graves actually gets caught on by the Dr. Mundo by the sack. Oh, Zixer has to pop the stopwatch. Lantern not gonna reach. Oh, Akali going really low, not to get hit by the death sentence. Oh, but the super minions are pushing into the base, but luckily the minion wave. But oh my god, dropping the ball. You see Toriki just going forward there. Look really in. Oh my god, with the camera.
The flash from Toriki there, AD carry of Zero Gaming, was obviously not an ideal position to flash directly forward, but I gotta give big props to Zixer there.
You
going
think
in the back line, picking up a kill, picking up a passive.
Yeah, Sixer really trying to make SG Momentum sweat for this win.
Yeah,
As
really
we do
showing
have
off
the
this one.
Ocean Dragon. We have SG Momentum at Ocean Zone, and you know, it's kind of a win-win if they get it or not.
Zero Gaming, they're in the pit, they're on the Dragon.
Oh, they're in a pit, but it's gonna be a 50-50. Both junglers are here, showing up. Actually, CC landing on top of Xin Zhao. And Xin Zhao actually secures the Ocean Zone. Is he actually gonna get on the Ocean Zone? Really tanking up. He still has the Gale, the Boar Drinker. Oh, here comes Thresh with the Flay, gets the kill, and here comes Aphelios. And
Press the damage thread.
Yeah, press
going in
the
there,
down.
trying to kill as many as he
Yeah.
can, and it was a
a
amazing play
valiant
by
effort.
Chucky. He gets the 4-man ultimate. They tried to repeat what they did in last game, but they have the
Sorry for not
passive
noticing
wasn't
everything. This directed camera is really trolling me sometimes, making it hard for me to focus. Whatever, it is the win for SG Momentum.
It might be GG here.
Yeah, it wins the
they
series
don't have anyone
2-1. Drew can do whatever he wants, but with Anivia, with Aphelios, just gonna look to just break open the base of SG Momentum. They are getting the 2-1. Actually, wait, strike that maybe. I think. Oh, the wall. You hate to see it. Oh,
Okay, did they just focus on the next one?
oh, they're already focusing on the next. One more auto should do it. Oh, and then we have also the inhib. Oh my god, it is still not over.
Let's go, Zero Gaming! barely
no,
alive. with
no. Okay,
one
let's not get our hopes up. We still have Ocean Soul on the enemies. On the
Zero
enemies
Gaming
and
are staring into the face of an Ocean Soul 5k deficit,
Yeah.
but they refuse to lose. They
Yeah.
don't want to give up this 3-game
but
series.
the thing is, no, if the Ocean Soul was on Zero Gaming, then I probably would have been in favor of Zero Gaming, because Zach and Mundo with the Ocean Soul gonna be really tanky. But now when you have the Ocean Soul on the enemy and the burst on Zero Gaming is honestly not that huge, especially when this Lucian is really behind. So I think this Ocean Soul can actually be really huge, and I just think that is just a game staller, not really a game changer. Sadly, hate to ruin the optimism, but
Yeah, no, I unfortunately do agree with you. I struggle to see how Zero Gaming are going to pull this one out of the bag. I don't think it's impossible. I think with the right picks and things they could make it happen, but it is going to need to be on the back of SG Momentum misplay.
if I'm Zero Gaming, I kind of just want to barrel it down into their base and just end the game at this point. I'm playing really conservative right now.
Yeah, they've really struggled to find picks, to find the plays, to find anything to get them ahead, and I really feel like, again, similar to last game, they haven't fully utilized this bot lane, this Lucian Nami power. You know, they've taken it to the lane prowess.
A bit too late to start caring
Yeah.
about that. This Lucian is really behind. Is trying to build his third item, but actually had to opt into the. Oh, yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
He is going to be struggling at the moment, but yeah, I'm interested to see how SG Momentum are going to close this out, because I don't think they're going to overstep and overextend like they just did. I think they're going to respect.
Wait, Lucian flashing forward. On the Aphelios actually takes him down. Toriki. Okay, now do we have a game on our hands? Baron is spawning up in 20 seconds. Aphelios not gonna be up for it. I think. Are they actually gonna have a chance at this game?
And two just falling asleep in the mid lane, and so just going to get caught
Zach
out by the
looking to
Lucian.
go in on the Graves. Oh, hits the. Man, this is hot. This is.
It's intense.
But
They
I
can't put
think
them down against an Ocean
I think
Soul.
Aphelios is actually gonna make it down in the end. They're not they're not pulling the trigger that fast enough. They're not pulling the trigger fast enough. 5 seconds for
Lucian
Aphelios.
starting the Baron.
Oh, let's see how fast they do it. Like they do it, but they don't do it fast. I think Aphelios might actually be able to make it down in time for the fight. They have the vision on it. And you see it's going down, it's ticking down. Oh, half now. Oh, and we see SG Momentum trying to just burn in here. Kung Fu, ready. He's in the pit now, and they actually have to back away from this. Oh, but the calling is really big. Oh, but the Nami, Anivia, I mean, Sanders. Oh, Sanders is going down. Sanders still gets the kill on Dryu, but actually, Zixer gets a kill on his mate Sinzao. Gonna get down. Sinzao is getting really low. Actually, gets taken down by the Lucian, but they just gets cleaned up, and I think that has to be the game. Looking to enter top.
They've got the Graves, they've got the Thresh alive, but Zac is still alive, Chucky's still up, gonna be able to provide some
why are you ending to top? Why are you ending to top?
I'm sorry, okay, no.
Why are we ending to top? I don't think they can end. I don't think they can end. The game lives on as we have the Elder Dragon spawning up in 50 seconds, man. This best of 3, man. It has to be going, man. It gets me actually up.
Okay, you want it? So this is exactly what happened in the previous games, right? Is that Zero Gaming took the dragon so quickly that it spawned the Elder Soul, which gave that comeback mechanic for SG Momentum to get back into the game. I think this is exactly how Zero Gaming flips the script and reverses it and does the same thing.
But are we actually gonna look them trade? We might actually see a trade for Elder, unless they take this guy's fast.
So in for SG Momentum.
Wait. I think they actually take it fast enough so they can just go for Elder right away. Oh, they actually can. They have 10 seconds. Oh, they have time. Oh, they secure the Baron.
Yeah, they're not fully committed.
We saw that they didn't do the Baron very fast. You can't expect them to go Elder very fast.
Zixer on the flank though.
Yeah, Zixer on the flank, but Like I think
Can he kill those crucial
Oh,
parries?
Zac goes in. Oh, the engage falls short. Colin goes onto the opposite direction. Wind becomes lightning. Also, he's down. Oh, actually, they managed to get onto the Sixer. And Kung Fu takes down Chucky. There's a 4v5. Lucian is really low. And Sixer is just in the enemy team, trying to do whatever he can. Oh, gets the dashing. Actually gets the kill on the Bentu. But he's really low, and I don't think he has enough. I think that it might actually be the game. The Doctor doesn't have the antidote to win them the game. Lucian Nami extremely low, and that just probably is the GG right now. Zero Gaming fought valiantly for the comeback. Zero Gaming fought valiantly for the comeback, but SG Momentum are just way too strong for that to matter. 2-1 in the series, game for SG Momentum. Xandar's 8-3 and 11 on the 9-3 and 11 with Zanivia, and they are just gonna take the game.
It is going to be GG for the side of SG Momentum. It was well fought by Zero Gaming, but they pulled that trigger. They just couldn't get that team fight with the Chucky going, and that is going to be their loss. Wow, that is... I can't say I'm a bit disappointed. I was kind of SG Gaming believing a little bit there. I thought they could do it, but in the end, unfortunately, they were not able to. Well,
Wait,
what a series though.
We'll see if we can get an interview going in here for the side of SG Momentum, taking that, obviously taking the game. We can look for a little pause here.
See if any of them.
Yeah, we'll see if any of them are around. We'll take a little pause, and we'll be right. Oh, okay. Never mind. No pause. We actually have interview with. It seems like Kung Fu. Yeah, let's drag him in.
All right.
Hello, man.
Hello.
Hello, Kung Fu. So obviously, just for the first question about the game, how do you feel about the game?
Well, I think it was the best best of 3 series we actually had in Division 1 so far. It was really close. We went all the way to game 3, and it was really close all the way. Liked it a lot.
And I would say that game 3 from a jungling perspective from you were much more objective focused. You were really focusing down on those dragons. You weren't giving Zero Gaming anything in that third and final game. What do you think you did? What was different about how you played in game 3 versus the first 2?
I mean, the situation was really different in every single game. First game I was on Graves, right? It was the first game against Jarvan, and really had to take a different approach to it because they were indeed stronger early game, especially with the Jarvan. So we had to just trade objectives rather than fight for them, which we did quite well, I would say, as we were ahead every single moment in game 1. Game 2 was a bit different. In game 2, we had like we really outdrafted them, to be honest. I think they actually played really well to actually manage to win that. We had a Trundle into Poppy, Zac. It was really unplayable for them, but they actually made it somehow. The point in game 2 was to play around Zac. I as Trundle would follow Zac around wherever he is and be ready to counter gank, which went fine, but in the late game we had that 5-man Zac ult just destroyed us. And for game 3, we managed to get an early lead up in the top side. You are aware of the first fight, where we got 3 kills. It was really nice, and from there we were so ahead that we could basically fight for any objective. So we did. We took all objectives and managed to win the game with that.
And I think also we're not gonna talk about the attempted dive on the Mundo where you just kind of gave up when the Mundo had no HP, but it's fine. But what I kind of want to talk about is you actually, Kung Fu. Obviously, you have not played on SG Momentum. You are originally from Curtain Call Gaming, I believe, and who sadly dropped out after getting absolutely demolished by my Kindred. My God, man! But nah, I'm just joking. You're great. But how does it feel now to play in SG Momentum compared to playing on Curtain Call?
Well, to be honest, it is a bit of a how do I say this nice? SG Momentum is a higher skill level team, right? So obviously it feels nicer to have stronger teammates rather than in a CCG. a bit tougher. You had to really focus a lot more here. It's taking it a bit easier, you know. It's you have to play around your teammates more. It's pretty much a more competitive environment, to be honest. It's much more proper League of Legends. It's
Yeah.
much better. I like it a lot.
And you know, you actually been a player that obviously both of us being Div 1 bros. You know, I kind of have to, and you probably seen my interview about ST Momentum. Kind of have a rivalry against them. Looking forward to meeting you next time we play SG Momentum. And you know, you have been a player that I actually looked at and it's like, yeah, I think he's pretty good. I remember when we played against you. You were actually, you were making it really hard for me to play the game as Kindred. I remember, if I remember. But yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I believe I was playing Gragas,
No,
right?
you played Hecarim.
Hecarim. Oh yeah, no, that's just sad. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's fine.
Of,
yeah.
one final question. You know, SGM, the sort of new and improved with yourself on the team. How do you feel about how your team would fare against the currently undefeated enemy unknown?
What?
I mean, Unknown Enemy is Div 2 team, right? So they're down there. They're not really on our level yet. They
Yeah.
didn't even make it through the group stages. Like CCG made it 3-0. Unknown Enemy fell down to Division 2. I don't know. That maybe says
Yeah.
something.
Shall
Yeah.
see how they
Just
rise up.
Discord things trying to hype up Div 2 teams. Lol.
Hey, we got a Div 2 game on next. I gotta hype it up, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
sadly not gonna be casting that game. Yeah, I'm sadly not gonna be casting that game. I think. But it has been. If do you have anything else to say, Kung Fu, before we end the stream?
I mean, nothing special, but I'm looking forward to playing against you in our tiebreaker because we're about to beat RT1 in our last game of the split, and
Oh,
we're gonna be
okay. So you
in
think you're gonna
tiebreaker
beat
if you guys
RT1?
win.
So who
Oh
would
yeah,
you?
no, that's for sure.
Yeah. So would you say the tournament favorites right now are kind of Forsaken, RT1, and you?
Excluding RT1, yes.
I like that. I like that. Hyping up the rivalry final. I like it. I like it. But I think that is gonna be it. Thank you, Just Discord Things, for being my lovely co-caster this series, and thank you,
Amazing.
obviously thank you, Kung Fu, for the interview. And that is gonna be the end of this stream for this match. But tune in a bit, because they're actually gonna be the second match, who is between, I don't know, Div 2. Can you?
Yeah, it is Crown of the Ruin King versus Team
Oh
1.
wait, you.
Will
It's
be
your
next.
team.
A little
Okay.
bit. I will be watching it, so I'll be
Yeah.
in the chat typing around. I won't be casting, but obviously you've got to get the viewership up. I want people to come see the game. Div 2 hype, let's go.
Yep.
But yeah, please
And
do
I don't know who
tune
the
in.
casters are, but I hope that I know they're gonna be great. But yep, see you guys around.
Peace out, guys.
See ya.